Welcome to the program. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And man, oh man, did we have a great night nationwide. I mean, we just had massive MAGA victories, Democrat defeats that are historic from sea to shining sea. We're going to cover it here on the program today. President Trump just had huge victories last night. And when President Trump's winning, America's winning, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Democrats were creamed. The Democrat socialist in big trouble. Things could not have gone better. And you know, on election nights, except for the 2024 presidential election, I don't stay up late on election nights because I'm here first thing in the morning. And I stayed up late in 2024 because the suspense. I just couldn't go to sleep, and I couldn't until I saw that it was official that President Trump had been reelected. But last night I went to bed really early. But if I would have stayed up for the election results in Florida, I would have gone to bed really early anyway, because our results came back in like 90 minutes in the state of Florida. That's the way it's done. And, you know, yeah, right. No weeks, no months, on election night. In about 90 minutes, Florida, and Florida is a big state. We're in two time zones. Florida is in the Eastern and Central time zone. And still, about 90 minutes, we had most of the votes in, and you could call the races. Isn't that something? It really is. That's what happens when you have integrity and good people running the state. But the momentum is in favor of the MAGA Republicans. Not only did we win last night, we're winning moving forward. This is exciting. It really is exciting. And just give an example, of course, Byron Donalds won here in Florida, which is a nightmare for the Democrats. Byron Donalds is, of course, endorsed by the president. He is going to be the governor. He's running against a very troubled, dysfunctional Democrat who won for the Democrats last night. I'll get into that later on the program. But Byron Donalds is causing panic attacks in the Democrat Party. First off, he's going to be the first black governor of the state of Florida, and he's Republican. Florida is the most important Republican state in the union. And he's going places even after he's governor, whether it's to the Senate or to the presidency or vice presidency. He's going places, Byron Donalds. It's absolutely amazing. And they don't like popular, competent, successful black Republicans on the left. It freaks them out. They get scared. And you look at the turnout. Look at this. Look at the turnout between Republicans and Democrats here in the Sunshine State of Florida. 1.7 million Republicans voted in the primary, and primaries have low turnout. 1.7 million Republicans voted in the primary, just 1.2 million Democrats. So we bested the Democrats by 500,000 in an off-year primary election. And yeah, that's right. That means the Democrats have no momentum. No momentum. They feel defeated. And they should, right? Well, a lot of Democrats aren't Democrats anymore. They've been magnetized and red-pilled and are Trump people now. And this isn't this way just in Florida. Democrat vote turnout is down all over the place because, well, one, many of them have left. There's a lot of defeatism. And there's a civil war going on inside their party between the Democrats and the Democrat Socialist of America. And here in Florida, there were three races that I was looking at. The governor's race in the Republican Party, which, of course, the great Byron Donalds won by a landslide. I'm going to cover all this as the show goes on today. So we had a landslide victory for Byron Donalds. Colonel Vindman. Remember Colonel Vindman, who got the president impeached? He was running in the Florida Senate primary as a Democrat. He lost to a Democrat socialist, and the Democrat socialist, Nixon, they're going to run around thinking that they had a big victory in Florida. This Democrat socialist is a crazy woman, okay? She's a crazy woman, and she's going to lose to the Republican. But I don't mind that Democrat socialist won the Florida primary for Senate because Vindman is a scary dude. He was born in the Soviet Union and came with his family to the United States. And think about this. A man born in the Soviet Union got the president of the United States impeached. Can you believe that? It's crazy. And his defeat was humiliating. The Democrats spent more than $16 million on Vindman's primary campaign here in Florida, and he lost. His brother's in the House of Representatives. So that was a rejection of the deep state, it's a major defeat. And I'm going to talk about that on the radio show today because, our radio stations are in Florida, and a lot of people were giving me grief for not talking about Vindman, and I explained why I wasn't, and I think I've been proven right on that, and so we'll get into that. And then the other one was Debbie Wasserman Schultz won this House race, this Democrat House race in a black district. She went up against, I think, 4 black Republicans, and she won that race, that primary, and she'll go on to win the general because that's a Democrat district, so she'll win. You can't win them all, but we won most. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz didn't so much win as her opponents were just not smart, and she won in a black district, and as opposed to all of them dropping out except one and rallying around one, they sat around and complained how they were being victimized by Debbie Wasserman Schultz. They split the black vote, and those that were left went to Debbie, right? So Debbie Wasserman Schultz won her primary. So what? What good does she do, right? I mean, she's not worried about that. We won the big ones, and we're very excited. So we're today on the program is a day of celebration, and we're going to be celebrating a lot on the program today, and take your calls. You're certainly welcome to call in. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. And President Trump had 20 victories last night of endorsed candidates. Look at this. Some of them are well-known, and you've heard of them. Some of them you may never have heard of. But President Trump had 20 endorsed victories in the primaries last night. Isn't that something? Yeah, look at that. 20. These are exciting times. They really are. I mean, it doesn't get more exciting than this. Okay, now somebody in the chat said, I'm glad you asked, somebody is Byron Donalds against ending the property tax in Florida? No, in fact, this is Byron Donalds last night in his victory speech. I was going to play this later, and I will play it again later, but since somebody mentioned it in the live chat, I'll play it now. This is Byron Donalds at his victory speech last night.
The goal of eliminating homestead property taxes once and for all. And if the math can't take us there, we will target that relief to our seniors on fixed income and our working families who want Florida to remain their home. And let's be very clear, and I see Sheriff T.K. Waters from Duval County is right here in front. How you doing, T.K.? At the same time... So no, he is in favor of ending our property taxes, and unfortunately, it's not up to him. It's on the ballot. So it's up to the voters. If it were up to him, it'd be done. If it were up to DeSantis, it'd be done. But we'll hopefully get it done. No doubt about it. And Tucker Carlson, he endorsed the jerk running against Byron Donalds, Fish Sticks, and Fish Sticks lost. So there you have, there's Tucker Carlson with Fish Sticks, who he endorsed. So the Tucker Carlson endorsement is kind of like it's a negative endorsement, right? He lost. Why just disabled veterans? Why not? And seniors? Why not end the property tax for everyone? Right? Why just seniors and disabled veterans? Don't we all deserve relief on our property taxes? Oh my goodness! I mean, I'll be a senior eventually, but between now and then, that's a lot of money. So no, I don't think we should eliminate property taxes for just seniors and disabled veterans. I think we should eliminate property tax here in the state of Florida for all homeowners, don't you? Exactly. No, we should end it for everyone that owns a home.
Yeah, the property tax is ridiculous. Florida has so much money. They don't need our property taxes. So I've got a lot to cover today. I'm going to get through a lot of it, and it is without question an exciting day to celebrate. And here, let me pull up Byron again. Here's Byron Donalds last night. Another clip from his victory speech. Very good.
We've been crisscrossing Florida. We've been knocking hundreds of thousands of doors, taking our message to all Floridians. And tonight, because of your sweat, because of your hard work, we have won a massive victory.
That's right.
Now, we've just come through a hard-fought primary. I got a call from Paul Renner and James Fishback tonight. And they, hold on, I'm going to tell you why in a moment. And they congratulated me and all of us on a hard-fought victory. And my conversation with both of them is very simple. Congratulations. Let's go beat David Jolly in November.
Yeah, David Jolly's the Democrat nominee. I'll talk about him later. He's nuts.
You see, because individual opinions and passionate supporters are the beauty of our conservative movement. But tonight, the primary is over. Tonight, we put aside our differences. Tonight, we are one united Republican Party.
That's exactly right. The time of criticizing other Republicans is over because we're past the primaries now, right? We are in the day after. The election is on. No, that why I got goosebumps. Isn't Byron Donalds amazing? That's why they hate him, because he's so good. And what he said right there is so spot on and right on and true. And we are in midterm full steam ahead right now, election cycle time. So the primaries are over. No criticizing other Republicans, because what's the point? The only point of criticizing other Republicans is to help the Democrats, right? There's no need to do that. We got through our primaries. We have our candidates, and that's who we got, and we're going to stick behind them now. That's the way it is. Now, some of them may not be the one that you wanted or I wanted. A couple of them may not be the one that President Trump wanted, but that's okay. That's who we got, and that's who we're going to go with. We're going to be united. We're not going to be like the Democrats who are in the middle of this civil war and hate each other and are undermining each other and bad-mouthing each other. Why do that in our own party? We want to be a Republican Party united, just like Byron Donalds said. And, you know, Byron Donalds seemed pretty presidential to me. Doesn't he? Absolutely. He's very good. He's very good. If you're new to my program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And I do take live calls. The number's pinned in the live chat. And all opinions are welcome, whether you agree or disagree. You're more than welcome to call in. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're watching. And we're a few minutes away from the radio show beginning. So this is kind of this is the pre-radio show. And today's a day of celebration and time to get serious. What the Democrats had last night, even though it was primaries, the Democrats had almost every race was a major defeat for them because of the civil war that's going on inside of their party. And we are a party that is united. And another thing that sets us apart from the Democrats is that we actually have an agenda, right? We also have a platform, right? We have reasons to vote for our candidates. The Democrats, they have no party platform. They have no defined issues, and they're losing everywhere. right? That's why the Democrat machine that poured $16 million plus into Colonel Vindman's race here in Florida, it's why they lost. Because they're not united. They don't have any issues. They can't point to any reasons why anyone should vote for them. And because of that, they got nowhere to go, right? You know, you can't go around and say vote for me if you don't have some reasons to have people vote for you, right? And this like, I give you an example, like this Democrat that beat Vindman is a Democrat socialist, okay? So the Democrat socialists are going to declare this like a win. This is her, Angie Nixon. Listen to her. She's crazy. This is the Democrat nominee for the Senate race here in Florida that's going up against a good Republican, Ashley Moody.
I don't understand, like, there's no sexualization at a drag show. It's just people dressing up and singing and performing. I've taken my children to drag shows, and it's fun. It's entertainment. It's wholesome entertainment. Yes. And it's nothing wrong. It's just, like, I don't get it.
Well, because you're a liberal, a Democratic socialist. So that's who we're running against in the Senate. And look at this. Here, she's a state rep now, right? She's in the state government, and now she's running for the U.S. Senate. And here she is with a little bullhorn, I guess, that she bought at like Toys R Us or something. And she's trying to let her voice be heard.
I will not allow you to destroy our democracy. This is a violation of the Constitution. It is. It's a violation of the Constitution. I'm out of order because y'all are doing illegal things to the state of Georgia.
See, this is who beat Vindman. We're not. She's nuts. You don't think we're going to beat her? Absolutely, we will. Yeah, she's a complete wackadoodle. She's nuts. She's nuts. And if Vindman would have won in Florida, the Democrats who put $16 million into his campaign already would have been pouring many more tens of millions. Maybe they would have spent $1 billion in Florida alone to get that guy in the Congress. But he lost, so we don't have to talk about Vindman anymore. And we could just celebrate the 20 endorsed victories of the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. Look at that. Brian Mast, Anna Paulina Luna. A lot of these I've never heard of before. But who cares? They're all MAGA Republicans. Some of them I have. Most of them I have. Some of them are new to me. But look at all those endorsement victories that we have. Yeah, she's cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, she's a complete nut. So if Vindman would have won that Senate race, oh my goodness, it would have been a nightmare. Okay, it's almost time for the radio show to begin. Okay, we got just under a minute, and then the radio show will begin. I will be taking your calls. All opinions are welcome. And I'm excited. Today is a day of celebration, isn't it? Absolutely, it's a day of celebration. The number to call is 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm very excited today. I really am. I haven't felt this good since Trump was reelected. I mean, this is when it comes to these issues. It's a real poll that tells you where the heart and minds of the American people are, and the heart and minds of the American people are behind this president, Donald Trump, and making America great again. Here we go. Less than 10 seconds, and then we'll be good to go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. And man, oh man, we had a night of great MAGA victories throughout this entire country. Byron Donalds won the primary, so he will be the next governor of the state of Florida. The first black governor of Florida will be a Republican, very exciting, and a very good Republican. Well, wait till you hear from him in just a bit. Colonel Vindman got totally destroyed in the Democrat Senate primary, so that's good. And we've got 20 endorsed candidates of President Trump's who won their primaries last night. Very, very exciting. And Florida is MAGA red, baby, MAGA red. Now, before we get started here, this is it. We are now in primary election season, right? Or, I'm sorry, midterm election season. The primaries are over. The primaries are over. We have our candidate. Now, there may be some isolated primary somewhere, but so far as I'm concerned, the primaries are over. We are in midterm election season as of this morning. And what that means is, and Byron Donalds talked about this last night in his victory speech, but what that means is no more criticizing Republicans. We are a unified party right now. And being critical of Republicans serves no purpose. There is no purpose, no reason to criticize any Republicans in this race moving forward. President Trump had 20 endorsement victories already declared, and who knows, there may be some added to that. Byron Donalds, that's a great one. There's others. We'll talk about all of them and take your calls on the program today. But this is not a time to do one of those political autopsies on this candidate and that candidate in the primaries. The primaries are over, right? And even Fish Sticks called up Byron Donalds and congratulated him last night. We are now in the period of the election season. Today is a day of celebration. And for the next few months, it's all going to be about winning the midterm elections. Primaries are over. No more criticizing Republicans. And the Democrats are in big, big trouble. Now, not only did Byron Donalds win, which is huge, huge, huge. Colonel Vindman lost in the Democrat primary for the United States Senate here in Florida for the Democrats, and he was beaten by a lunatic Democrat socialist who's completely crazy. Nixon is a nut. She's a crazy lady, right? And it's a good thing that she won because the Democrats spent $16 million on Vindman's campaign to lose. His brother's already in the House of Representatives. If Vindman would have won the Democrat primary last night, the Democrats, who knows, they may have spent $1 billion in Florida alone to get that guy elected. They wanted Vindman, who's from Vindman's originally from the Soviet Union. He was born in the Soviet Union, and I know they say Ukraine. He was born in the Ukraine when it was part of the Soviet Union, and his family came here when he was a baby. So here we got a guy who was born in the Soviet Union, who got the president of the United States, and the greatest president, too, Donald Trump, impeached, okay? You want to send someone like that to the Senate? He's out. They wanted him there so bad, and he's another one of these deep state guys. I don't think anyone who works in these intelligence agencies should be permitted to hold federal office afterwards. I just think it's bad news. It's bad news. We already have one CIA senator. We didn't need an NSA senator. But Vindman's rejection here in the state of Florida is a strong statement, and he lost to a crazy lady. When I say crazy, that is not an exaggeration. I'll play some clips of her a little later in the show, and you'll see what Ashley Moody's running up against. But yeah, so this is a day of celebration, and if you look at the turnout, and Florida is the most important Republican state. So goes Florida, so goes the country, right? The Republican turnout in the state of Florida in the primaries, in the midterms, just totally swamped the Democrats. And, you got to understand when it comes to the midterms always has a lower vote turnout than the general election. And the primaries and the midterms really, usually have pretty low turnouts. Listen to this. In the state of Florida, in the primaries, 1.7 million Republicans voted. 1.7 million Republicans. Democrats, 1.2 million. So 500,000 more Republicans turned out to vote than Democrats. This has never happened before. It's the first time this has happened. It happened for a couple of reasons, a number of reasons, but which I'll get into as the discussion goes on. But the Democrats are in a civil war between the Democrats and the Democrat Socialist. A lot of their people have been red-pilled and magnetized and are Republican now. They have no issues. They have no candidates. And they're really a party that's in trouble. All right, let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Adam, and I'm from Texas.
All right, Texas.
I just wanted to ask you, I voted for Trump twice now, and the Epstein files seem to not be on his mind, but that's all he ran for.
That's all he ran for? You know what I wonder?
Excuse
me. You asked. Excuse me. You know what I wonder about? How old are you?
I'm 26.
Why does a 26-year-old man spend so much time thinking about a dead pedophile?
Because
yeah, good question, isn't it? Yeah, think about that one. Who's been dead for years? See, and this is another thing. All of those Epstein Republicans, Trump got rid of them. They're out of office. Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? And of course, the tattooed lady, Nancy Mace, all out. Oh man, this is so exciting. It really is. All the momentum is on our side. You're all welcome to call in, by the way. All opinions are welcome on this day of celebration. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And, this thing about Vindman's defeat, some people in the audience, when I explained this over the last week, why I wasn't talking about Vindman, I said, I don't want to give him the free publicity because I want him to lose. And talking about him, we'll talk about him in the primary, after the primary, if he wins it. And I'm glad I didn't. Not that I would have swayed the entire state of Florida, but ignoring Vindman did help in his defeat, right? You don't want to prop up these very evil people that aren't players in a primary. You deal with it after the primary. And a lot of these races, we didn't cover specifically in the primary because, you got a lot of Republicans running, right? And you don't want to be out there trashing Republicans, and then after the election, you want us to try to be a united party. There's one race in Florida where the Trump-endorsed candidate did not win, over on the Gulf of America coast. And I'm watching the analysts, look at how could this happen? How could this happen? Well, look at how many Republicans were running in that primary, right? Madison Cawthorn was even in that, and he lost. There were, 8 Republicans, some of them MAGA, like Madison Cawthorn, that were running in that primary, and they split our vote. You don't want to be splitting our votes. But now we're not splitting votes. We have our candidates, we have our nominees, and it's on like Donkey Kong. Now, we're going to take our first break. When we get back, I'll take more of your calls on this day of celebration. Byron Donalds is going to be the first black governor of Florida, and he's going to be a Republican. That's right. The number's 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this. Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take the calls when we get back. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat. And also, guys, if you could do me the favor of liking the video, that would help out a lot. Now, I want to take a moment to tell you guys about Chapter. Those of you that are Medicare recipients, listen up. Chapter covers the entire United States. So no matter what state you are in, if you are a Medicare recipient or turning 65 soon, give Chapter a call. When you call Chapter, you'll speak to a licensed Medicare advisor. They will review your Medicare policy at no charge. They'll make sure that you have the right policy, and if you have a supplement you're paying for, that you're not paying too much. They'll make sure your doctors, your prescriptions, your specialist, everything's covered, and make sure that you have the right policy so that you get all the Medicare benefits you are entitled to. All right? And since Chapter is a national company, They have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies out there. That's amazing, right? So, and they're not loyal to one company or two or three. They have access to every policy from every company throughout the United States, and there's well over 25,000 of them. So give them a call right now. Again, the call is free. You'll speak to a licensed Medicare advisor. You can call right now, 805-754-3033. The number's also in the description of the video. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033 for Chapter. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. And, it is really important, guys, not to be attacking other Republicans right now. That's not what we want to do. We want to be a party that is united. And I think we are. And the only thing that's going to keep us from being united is if we let the Democrats get under our skin. That's it. And that's one of the reasons that you don't get involved all the time during primaries, because you don't want to start alienating everybody in the party. There he is. Guy's going to be president or vice. We'll be back in less than 1 minute. There he is, Byron Donalds. He's going to be the next governor of Florida, and he'll go on to be maybe the senator one day, or president or vice president. Who knows? But he's definitely going places. And I was very impressed with Byron Donalds' acceptance speech. The foot washing stations, the Muslim foot washing stations at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport have been canceled. That's not happening. Yep. You may notice I shaved today, which means I'm going to be on television. I'm going to be on national TV later today, talking about the Florida primary victories and everything. Very exciting time. So if I'm going to be on television, I shave. All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, and the number 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good morning, Brian. It's Joan from Hillsborough County. I'm Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Of course, I voted yesterday, and I thought Hillsborough was a pretty blue county, but there's over 23,000 more Republicans registered here.
Mm-hmm. I know there's been
shocked.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it used to be pretty blue here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess it's changed.
Yeah, it has. Because when you pull up the website for the Board of Elections here in Hillsborough, there's more registered Republicans than Democrats.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
We're turning red here.
Yeah, I mean, we had massive turnout for nationwide for Republicans, not just in Florida, but Byron Donalds. If you look at the primary, Byron Donalds just didn't win. He won big, and he got 810,675 votes, 47.8% of the vote. The number two only got 25% of the vote. That's Jay Collins.
Yeah, well, you know who I voted for? Mr. Daniels.
Oh, yeah?
Of course I voted for Byron. Who else would I vote for?
You mean Donalds. You said Daniels. You caught me off guard. I'm like, who's Daniels? You mean Donalds, Byron Donalds.
Donalds, yeah, Byron Donalds. Of course I
You
voted
confused
for
me.
Byron.
There were a lot of candidates that I never heard of running for governor of Florida. I couldn't believe how many were on the ballot. It was a long, like 12 or something. It was a lot.
Yeah, I know, but on my ballot, Byron was on the top.
Yeah. I can't remember where he was, but there were, let me see here. In Florida, in the Republic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They had 11 Republicans running in the primary. See, and I promise you, I don't know who most of these people are. I never heard of them before. But I promise you some of them are fake that the Democrats put in there to try to mess things up. That's what they do.
Well, I voted for the right man, I think.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely you did. Byron Donalds. All right, Joe.
I was really shocked find out we had so many, we had over 23,000 more Republicans
Well,
registered
Tampa,
than
Tampa, you're in the Tampa area. Tampa, which is on the coast of the Gulf of America, is historically a Democrat area. And that's why they have more strip clubs between the airport and the airport hotels than I've ever seen in my life. Every other building is a strip club in Tampa when you leave the airport. It's like the whole airport is just, it's like there's like we're building the border wall. They have a wall of strip clubs. I've never seen anything like it, right? And
they have that Venus place here or something.
They have that what?
I think it's called Mons Venus or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the strip clubs. Yeah, that's a famous strip club. Yeah, I've heard of it. Yes, I've heard of it.
I don't even know if it's still here. But
you might say, how do you know about the strip club? You can't miss it when you leave the airport in Tampa. Most airports, they have rental car places, hotels and everything else. You got to go through the strip clubs first, then you can get to the rental cars, and then you get to the hotels. I've never seen anything like it. But the reason I point that out is it's a liberal town. It's a liberal town of liberal things, and to have an overwhelming Republican turnout in such a Democrat town, and Hillsborough County, that's where during the lockdowns the sheriff arrested a pastor for having church services. Remember that during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So for them to have a Republican turnout like that is shocking.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's more Republicans now registered here than there are Democrats.
Throughout the whole state,
and the only reason I know about that Mons Venus place is because I used to work for McDill Federal Credit Union, which was right outside the base, which was on Dale Mabry.
Yep.
And I had to drive down Dale Mabry every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, it had a big sign and everything. But I never went.
Yeah. No, I haven't been in there either. But when you're I used to go to Tampa for work, for business. Some things I did on something else I used to MC science fiction conventions, and there were a couple of conventions a year in Tampa. I would fly to Tampa from Fort Lauderdale a couple times a year, and you go to the hotels, and they're always trying to get you to go to the Mons Venus. All right, I appreciate the call, Joan. Great day. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pompano. How you doing?
Yeah, well, it's a great day, Ben. I'm doing awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's really great. You've touched on a lot of things so far, but the one thing I want to touch on is the absolute failure of Fish Sticks and Dan Balzerian, the Tucker-endorsed candidates that counter-signal Trump-endorsed candidates. And I think this should, although I know it won't, finally put to rest these, what at this point I think is a foreign influence operation.
Absolutely.
Where these guys are just trying to destroy the Republican Party from within. And not only that, not only do they have a perfect losing record, they want to go ahead and start their own party between Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker.
Well,
and all these
like I said, I don't want to attack other Republicans, but Fish Sticks and listen to this. These are 3 of the high-profile endorsements that James Fishback, who I've been calling Fish Sticks, received in Florida. He lost big time. I mean, he's not even on the board. He had the endorsement of Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and Nick Fuentes.
So it's a real lineup.
So anyone who tells you that Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, and Tucker Carlson are representative of the MAGA movement, I don't think so.
No, but I will say this. Apparently, Fish Sticks did very, very well in the districts that have, the big colleges, like University of Florida and things like that, which also tells me it's a foreign influence operation because the number one source of news that these kids use is TikTok and social media. And that we all know that those things are completely flooded with money from Qatar and Iran and
China,
so forth.
everything
and so,
else,
and China, exactly. So it's our enemies. So, and it actually plays out operationally. If you look at them, if our enemies were to craft a infiltrator that said the very things that would destroy this country, they would look exactly like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes. These are the people. I mean, they've been doing this. Russia and China have been playing this hybrid informational unconventional warfare. They almost wrote the book on it because they've never been to compete with us on a kinetic level. But so what they do is this like real kind of pansy, guerrilla type, where we're just gonna buy a lot of bots or something. So
the thing with Fishback. Okay, Byron Donalds, he called Byron Donalds in and congratulated him. So he's trying to wiggle his way into the Byron's camp. And because he did well, I hadn't seen the breakdown at the colleges, but that makes, he had a very good social media game, like you said. And that's why months ago I was like, Byron needs to get out there on the campaign trail because Fish Sticks is all over social media. But it's very dangerous to bring him into the Byron campaign. I know he did well in the colleges, but it's very dangerous to bring this guy in. Yeah. I hope Byron doesn't.
You can't possibly. No. He would be. It would be foolish. It would be total like a fool's errand to do that. And I'll tell you why. This is exactly the pivot that Nick Fuentes is doing, and he's even admitted it. There's a video of him admitting that he's trying to moderate in order to get more acquainted to normies in the mainstream. And this is exactly, if people read what Mao did. Mao actually went to the Nationalist Party. I won't bore you with the history, but he literally didn't care how he got into power. He just used whatever.
Well, let me tell you, Tucker Carlson. This is just my opinion, but it's an educated opinion. But Tucker Carlson, I believe, is CIA. That doesn't mean he's not working with these other countries, right? The father, Nick Fuentes, has some deep state connections too. And proof of that is Nick Fuentes. This has been proven. His popularity of his show and on social media is all foreign bots. But how did he infiltrate Kanye West and get into Mar-a-Lago for that lunch with Trump? That was a deep state op, So Nick Fuentes is deep state too. Believe it or not, he may not even know it, but he is.
I can see that angle, but I also think Kanye is so crazy, and he had enough pull, and he wasn't actually. This was in his phase where he was just going down the chute.
You know who got him in? You know who got Nick Fuentes in there was I just forgot his name. What is the guy? He's gay. He
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Milo Yiannopoulos. Here, there you go. Milo Yiannopoulos got Nick Fuentes in there with Kanye. And Milo Yiannopoulos was working for Marjorie Taylor Greene a few months ago to dig up dirt on Loomer. So so it's an incestuous family you got going on here of enemies of MAGA. All right, you make some good points. I got to take our break for the bottom of the hour. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. You're welcome to call in. We're celebrating today. Byron Donalds won the primary last night. Colonel Vindman got creamed in an embarrassing, humiliating defeat. It just shows you the arrogance of this Vindman. You're going to run a statewide election. Someone like that would run for the House or something. But that's not good enough for him. His brother's in the House, but that's not good enough for him. He's going to run for the Senate. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. All right, we're clear. We're in radio break right now, so I'll wait to take more calls till after the break. So if you're on hold, stand by. And if you'd like to call in, please do. The number is 888-465-2631. If you'd like to support my content, everything I bring to you, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to my exclusive Patreon-only live streams, okay, where I talk about things that I cannot talk about here or anywhere else. And those who watch on YouTube, on Patreon, on those live streams, I cover a lot of things I don't cover anywhere else. So, and you get access to a lot of other things, including commercial-free editions of my podcast, a whole bunch of other content. The link's in the description of the video. Now, when you go there, you'll see an option to become a free Patreon supporter. If you do that, you don't have access to any of the content. To have access to the content, you have to be a paying Patreon supporter. And that starts at just $5 a month. Okay, so go ahead and do that. The link is in the description, and you will very much enjoy those live streams. And I was telling you guys, I'm going to be on TV, so I went and shaved. I went and bought a new jacket and tie. You want to see my jacket? I'm going to wear on TV today. Hold on. See, I went and bought a new jacket to be on TV today. So isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice jacket? Yeah, and a new shirt and a new tie. But I don't know if I'll wear the new tie or I'm not sure yet. I got a lot of ties, but there I'll be wearing that on TV today. Indeed. Yeah, I went and got that yesterday, and okay, we had just over a minute, and I'll go back to the phones. No, not TJ Maxx. I went to the Men's Warehouse. That's right. I buy all my suits at the Men's Warehouse. No, all opinions are welcome. Nothing's wrong with the Men's Warehouse. No. Yes, I will be on Newsmax. Yeah, all my suits come from Men's Warehouse. I've been buying suits there. The suit that I married my wife in 30 years ago, which I still have, I got that at the Men's Warehouse too. All right, we are back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, a day of celebration. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Oh, hey, Doc, you must be very excited. We're going to have the first black governor of the state of Florida. What a great development in the civil rights movement of African Americans. I'm assuming you're calling in grateful for that.
Okay, except I'm getting ready to say something I'm not supposed to say. Oh, Byron Donalds, he ain't black. He ain't black.
What do you mean he's not black?
He ain't black. Byron Donalds is not black. Oh, baby.
I don't understand what that means. What do you mean he's not?
You, Byron.
Do you know who Byron Donalds is?
I know who he is. I know. I know.
You said that I'm blacker than Byron. How could you say that? Are you sure you're talking about the right person?
I am, Brian, because Byron Donalds is not. You know what? I can't explain it to you.
No, try. No, I'm here. I want to understand. You say he's not black. What does that mean?
I don't consider Byron Donalds. He is black.
Oh, okay.
Byron Donalds he is black, but Byron Donalds has a lot to learn.
For example,
about being black.
What, like, as an example?
It's hard. I'm not going to say it's hard for you to describe.
Well, you say, well, if you could only teach Byron Donalds one thing about being black, Doc, what would that be?
What I would teach him about being black is know your race. Know your race.
The human race. There's only one race. It's called the human race. Inside.
I understand that. Byron.
Okay.
No.
So you think? Okay. So you don't think that Byron knows that he's a human being? I don't understand.
I don't think he knows. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that he's black. He doesn't understand that people like you and Trump are using him. He doesn't understand.
Oh, so you think he's stupid?
Yes.
So if you had a private one-on-one with Byron Donalds and you wanted to teach him what it was like to be black, how would you teach him that?
I wouldn't teach him. You can't teach nobody. What I would tell him, remember where he came from. Remember his ancestors. Remember there was a time when people like Trump and people in Florida, some people in Florida, or some people that doesn't look like him, would lynch him. That's the woman that
Democrats.
he's married to.
Yeah, Democrats. Every
No,
every
Republicans
black
too.
man in America
Okay,
who was lynched
okay, I'm
was
getting-
lynched by a Democrat.
Okay. So too, they were lynched by Republicans too.
No.
I'm pretty sure they were
No,
lynched.
no,
Let's put it like
no,
this,
not a
Ron.
single Republican did a lynching. Not a single Republican.
let's-
Nope.
Let's put it like this: white people like you.
No.
Let's put it
No,
like that.
no.
Let's put
Every
it like that.
every black man in America who was lynched by a Democrat, and every black man who was
Let's call
lynched was a
white-
Republican.
Okay, white Democrat. Put it like that.
Yeah.
And remember that there's some
Democrats.
people that
Has anyone ever told you that you sound like Chris Tucker?
no.
Yeah, just not
No.
funny. Chris Tucker's funny, but
Okay,
yeah, but
okay,
yeah,
I'm
you
not
do.
funny.
You sound.
I don't care.
You sound like
Let me
Chris
finish.
Tucker.
Can I finish my thought? Can I finish my
Yes.
thought,
Mhm.
please?
Yeah, sure.
I will tell Brian there's a lot of people.
Byron, it's
that
Byron.
Byron.
I'm
really
Brian.
isn't.
He's Byron. I'm Brian.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting like Trump. I forget things. He has to realize some people in MAGA doesn't even like him.
Who?
They
Who
don't-
doesn't like him? Byron.
Please, you don't like him. You don't.
I
like him.
love Byron Donalds. I voted for him.
The minute he says something against Trump, you go to drop him like a hot cake.
Why would he say
like
something
did
against
DeSantis.
Trump? Trump endorsed him.
Because
He's MAGA.
he can't say nothing against Trump because
Why would he
he's
want
scared
to?
of Trump.
Why would he want to?
Because he's not a man. A real man will stand up for his rights.
Has anyone
That's
told
what
you?
I'm
Has
saying.
anyone told you that you sound like Gary Coleman?
Have I ever told you sound like an idiot?
Yes, you. Yeah, I've heard that from liberal callers. I guess the Gary Coleman
Okay.
thing you've heard before. That's a sore subject, I guess.
So how do I sound like Gary Coleman?
You sound
Where
like
you understand
Gary.
that?
You sound like a little bit like Gary Coleman when he was on Different Strokes.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying, you sound like Chris Tucker. You sound like some celebrities. You sound like Chris Tucker. You sound a little bit like Gary Coleman.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Okay.
No,
Good, thank
no,
you.
I like Chris Tucker and I liked Gary Coleman. Absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, Byron Donalds.
Byron.
He has to understand. At the end of the day, they're using him
Who's they?
like people like Trump.
How's
that
Trump
doesn't
using
care
him?
about him because he's using him because he figure, okay, if I back him, the black people think I love him. They're gonna think I support black people. Trump doesn't care about anybody. He
You know,
don't care about
under
women.
President Trump, black unemployment is at its lowest
Bush.
level. And
you-
no, did you hit the first dump of the day? First dump of the day, Mike. Oh my goodness. First dump of the day. If you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to build back up. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna play while we're waiting for the delay to build back up. Let me play a clip of the next governor of Florida, Byron Donalds.
The goal of eliminating homestead property taxes once and for all.
You hear that? That was his speech last night. He wants to end the property taxes for us. That's great. And, the property taxes, in the state of Florida is on the ballot in November. You have to vote, and it has to win by 60%. 60% of Floridians who vote have to vote to eliminate the property tax on our homestead properties for it to pass. So make sure that you do that, okay? That's a very important thing. But Byron Donalds is in favor of it, which is very good.
The goal of eliminating homestead property taxes once and for all. And if the math can't take us there, we will target that relief to our seniors on fixed income and our working families who want Florida to remain their home.
Okay, now that's something, because that's an interesting thing because, see, the property taxes, because they're done at the county level, it's a constitutional amendment for the Florida state constitution. That's why it needs 60%. So that's a tough thing to pass, right? And Democrats will vote. If it was to raise your property taxes, Democrats would vote for that. They're stupid. But he said if we don't get that, he said we're going to, how did he say it?
The math can't take us there. We will target that relief to our seniors on fixed income and our working families who want Florida to remain their home.
Okay, so he's going to, if it doesn't pass in November, Byron's got a way to get rid of the property tax for working families and seniors. Well, what defines a working family? So it looks like he's got a way, even if it doesn't pass in November with 60% of the vote, to eliminate our property taxes. That's good. All right, we'll go back to the phones. The delay's re-engaged. You're on. See, I told you, Democrats are not doing well. Doc lost it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Steve of Staten Island.
Hey, Staten Island.
The thing is, it's just amazing, wonderful. The Republicans have done such a great job of electing good people in Florida. Your guy in Florida, magnificent, I must say.
Oh, yes.
And he's going to do a great job. And it shows that we're practically united, except for maybe a few, rhinos, we could call them.
Yes.
We've done very strong where the Republican is in shambles. They have one, these type of people, the other have one certain, and they can't get this act together, which we don't care. We got our act together, and we're going to be very well off.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to get a good Democratic, Republican president. Our vice president.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be a very good one. Mm-hmm. And like I said before, your guy in Florida, very good. He could even go up into a president who look in the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Byron Donalds will help other states because he's so good and so charismatic and a great example. It brings energy into the party.
Yeah, we got energy, and you can see it is solid. We're doing great with it, and it's just that I'm just laughing at the fact that the left-wing media is always going to do whatever they can to try to push their Democratic idiots into the fold. But it's just people are going to see how phony the left-wing media is.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, get these idiots going a whole different way, but right.
Oh, last night was devastating for the Democrats, just devastating, because they have this whole civil war between the Democrats and the Democrat Socialists, and they just can't get beyond it.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, they just don't have the thoughts. They got the people drinking the Kool-Aid saying, oh, yeah, that's socialism. I think that's going to work. Mm-hmm. It doesn't.
No.
Not here in America. It's not going to work.
No.
Maybe in Timbuktu or somewhere in this country.
No.
But certainly not in America, that's for sure.
That's right. And one of the things that's exciting is that the Republican turnout is so high and the Democrat turnout is so low.
Yes, because I'm sure there are some very good Democrats, but they're seeing their side just go sliding into the waters and like a Titanic. It's just not going to.
All right.
It's not going to do.
Well, Staten Island, thank you for the call. All right, you call again sometime. You're always a
Thank
good caller.
you. Take care.
All right. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Jamie Levack over at Swift Tax. Now, remember, Jamie Levack can help you with your taxes no matter where you're located in the United States, okay? He's based here in South Florida, but he can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in America, even with your state taxes. He can help you with your state taxes as well. And those of you that are business owners of any size, whether you're a large brick and mortar with 200 or more employees or an Uber or Lyft driver or a DoorDasher, he can help you with your taxes as well, including your bookkeeping and payroll taxes. And if you have missed filing taxes this year or past years, even many, many years, call Jamie Levack at Swift Tax. Stop worrying about that certified letter coming in the mail. Stop worrying that they're coming after you. Jamie Levack will take care of it for you. If you owe back taxes, even if you've already made an arrangement with the IRS, call Jamie Levack. He'll take care of it for you. You know, one of our listeners was owed back taxes to the IRS. He went and met with Jamie Levack. Jamie Levack reviewed his taxes, found out that not only did he not owe money to the IRS that he'd been paying on, they owed him money, and he got him the refunds. Call Jamie Levack. This number rings directly to Jamie Levack, so you can call or text 954-773-5787. 1587. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587 for Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. We'll be right back. Yeah, let me pull this up. This is great. This is MS. We're in radio break, but I want to share this with you. This is MS Now.
And Ryan,
going over one of the races. Watch this.
And Ryan Elijah winning an outright. There it is. NBC News projects that broadcaster Ryan Elijah has defeated Republican Congressman Corey Mills in the primary in Florida's 7th Congressional District. Mills, whose campaign was beset by scandal, by allegation, by the notable lack of a late endorsement from Donald Trump. Trump had endorsed him early in this campaign. Like last year, Trump sort of re-endorsed a series of candidates late in this race. Mills was notably not one of them. And Mills has gone down to defeat, and a sizable defeat in this congressional district. Again, Ryan Elijah defeating him. This is a district where in the general election, you can see Trump has carried this district by 12 points in 2024. Democrats were hoping that Mills would be the nominee because they believed that with his baggage in a district like this, they might be able to make it a game in the general election. But that plan was dependent on Mills winning this primary. Republicans have taken Mills out.
Yeah, see that? So, I mean, it's amazing. The Democrat, what a lot. So MS Now is actually predicting a Democrat loss in that House race. Things are not going well for them at all. In fact, there's nothing that's going well for the Democrats nationwide. Now, when we get back, I'm going to get into some more of these. If you're new to the program, make sure that you subscribe, all right? This is where MAGA comes to talk. And if you could do me the favor of liking the video. Now, here's one that let me share this one with you. Let me pull this one up. This is also MS Now. All right.
Mike Beltran is a former state legislator from Hillsborough County. NBC News is projecting will win the Republican primary in Florida's 14th congressional district. He's defeating another former state legislator, Kevin Steele. There were questions about Steele's residency. The district that he represented in the state legislature was actually from Pasco County, so none of the constituents from his legislative district were actually in this district. They both were self-funding. They are large parts of their campaign, millions spent on each side. Mike Beltran wins that nomination. And again, Beltran now will face off against Kathy Castor, Democrat. She's been in office 20 years. Her mother, Betty Castor, you may know the name, longtime fixture in Florida Democratic politics, nearly won a seat in the United States Senate.
Nearly won.
I think back in 2004.
Lost. That means lost. So the daughter of a loser is running. I tell you, these people, they're out of their minds. Things are going. This is one of the most exciting. We'll be back in less than a minute. This is one of the most exciting primary nights I have ever seen. It really is. Okay, now President Trump had actually 26 wins last night. That's right. 30 seconds. We'll be back. That's right. All opinions are welcome. You Democrats certainly are welcome. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening, guys, okay? Oh, I guess I'll wait till you hear what I got coming up. If you're on hold, stand by. We got about 10 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Brian. It's Jeff from Maine.
Oh, great day, isn't it, Jeff?
Just another great day. And I just put in the chat, the Democrats are on a one-way ticket to a graveyard. They're death, and they did it themselves. We didn't have to do a thing.
Well, not your
whole thing showing their hatred for America, and we're tired of them. America's tired of them, and we just got to keep doing what we do, keep positive, and get the vote out. We're going to win big time in the midterms. They don't have a message, and they don't have a person to lead their party. They did it to themselves.
You know, they don't have any superstar candidates. You know, they tried with Graham Plattner in Maine, where you're at. They ain't Nazi and accused of rape. And then they got Ahmed. I got a new story on Ahmed, the Muslim in Michigan. This is a really bad one for him. They tried with this Ossoff, with this trying to accusing the president of having an affair. He's already walking that back. They were auditioning him. The Democrats have no one. And we've got all these great people like Byron Donalds that we're excited about.
And I'd like to see in the midterms commercials coming up, questioning the American people. What is the message of the Democrats? Where is their standard person that they're leading the party? Show us something positive. You can't say one positive thing coming from the Democrats for America. There is nothing they have.
No, they've got nothing. They've got nothing.
And the best part is that they've done it to themselves. And I'm really shocked that they put up this Troy Jackson to replace Plattner, and Plattner's shown holding his hand up, this guy Troy Jackson, and he assaulted someone and pushed him.
There was a woman that he was. They said he threw a. I read a story that he threw a water bottle at a woman.
In session.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and he comes up with this something about he comes from a logger family, and they were going to try to do something, and he stood up for him, and it was like 30 years ago. And I'm like, I'm going to contact the Republicans and say, that was 30 years ago. What's he talking about that for now? Because he got no message. Call him on it. Use that against him. My God, he's not even relevant or talking about the current.
So he has nothing in his bio. So he's running on things people in his family may have done 30 years ago.
Yep. And it's just it's getting ridiculous that they can't even come up with a sensible, clear, current issue. Everything they're running on is from things from the past.
Well, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Good. That's good by me.
Yeah, and I really think Mainers in a lot of blue states are waking up to this. It can't get any worse, I think, other than them losing midterms bigly.
Oh, yeah.
And President Trump has done everything correct. He can't get any mainstream news media coverage, and it's still not hurting him.
And you heard I've heard from two liberals today. The first one was a 26-year-old man obsessing over a pedophile that's been dead for years and asking why files have not been released that the president released months ago. And then the other one, Doc, we had to use the dump button. So the Democrats that have called so far this morning, their minds are fried. They're in a panic, you can tell.
You know, I come up with a good acronym for DOC, dumb, obvious child. And to me, and I'm not picking on him individually, I'm talking about the Democrats in general. They're a bunch of obvious dumb childs that are trying to pretend they're smart, you know, like a 15-year-old.
Yes.
It's so absurd that anybody would vote for these Democrats. I can't understand how anyone can be voting for them.
And to me, it was such a victory that Colonel Vindman lost the Senate primary for the Democrats here in Florida. The Democrats spent $16 million for Vindman to lose.
Yeah, and I don't know why he was never charged. Remember back when he broke character, he broke
Well,
the
first off,
UTMJ.
when he showed up for that hearing, he was wearing the wrong uniform because they updated the uniforms, and he was wearing the old uniform, which is got to be if you wear the wrong uniform, don't you get in trouble for that? You just can't wear.
Yeah, in the Marine Corps you would.
Yeah, and also overweight. He had to be in violation because of his pudginess, didn't he? Out of uniform, out of shape, overweight.
Well, different branches look on that differently. Usually, they send you to remedial PT and make you lose weight and make you work out.
And then reporting the commander in chief. That's got to be some type of crime too, I would have thought. But I'm glad he lost. That was a big one, and that I consider that a major victory. Vindman losing.
But isn't it really funny that all these Democrats are running these losers over? They don't have anybody that's reputable, honorable, honest. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But it's a glorious, wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
But the one thing we need to do is the next election is the most important. All elections are, and we need to talk to everybody like here on this show and get everyone we know to get out and vote and take our country back. We're going to make America great again, and I'm glad for a show like this, Brian.
All right, Jeff, I appreciate the call. You take care, all right?
Thank you.
Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
For a show like this, Brian.
All right, Jeff.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Aaron.
Where are you calling from, Aaron?
Oh, I'm calling from Bristol, Tennessee.
All right, Aaron in Tennessee. What's on your mind? Here we go.
I had a question for you.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Get ready, Mike.
Why do the Democrats constantly support Muslims basically invading our country?
Well, it's not that they support them. They're the ones bringing them here. Obama brought them all here. So they're not just supporting them. They're bringing them here.
Exactly. And what I don't understand is, if you look at what Democrats stand for, what are they going to do when these people start killing all the gay people?
Well, I don't know about that, but the reason they're bringing them here is because they want to destroy the country. The Democrats, the Democrats have been in insurrection mode against this country since 1860, when Lincoln got elected. Right, the Civil War is, I refer to the Civil War as the Democrat insurrection against the federal government, and that insurrection never ended. The Democrats have been in open insurrection against the government since 1860, and it continues today. But another reason that they're bringing in so many Muslims is because they've lost so much of their base. Blacks and Hispanics have gone to the Republican Party under Trump, even a lot of gays. So they're importing people to try to keep their party alive.
Yeah, it's insane to me that the people that they're importing, if they are successful in doing what they're doing, are going to turn on them.
Yes.
And start, just.
Well,
absolutely.
Democrats, see, this is the thing. Democrats are into immediate gratification. They don't think about the long term, what they need and what makes them feel good right now. So they can't think that far ahead. All they know is they want to try to stop Trump, and if these Muslims can help them do that, they're all for it.
Yeah, so that way of thinking, it's just beyond me.
I know, it is. Well, welcome to the program from Tennessee. Give me a call sometime. You're a good caller. All right, take care. All right, gentleman from Tennessee. Oh, man. Oh, what an exciting day. If you're on hold, stand by. We are celebrating these great MAGA victories, and I've got more to share. I got something on Ahmed in Michigan, the Democrat Muslim running for Senate up there, that will blow your mind. Now, you may have noticed every morning when you hear me on the air, I am well rested. Why is that? It's because I sleep with a MyPillow every night. Absolutely, I do. And there's incredible specials going on right now. The Mega 2 sales going on. You can get MyPillows for less than $20 right now at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. I sleep on the MyPillow. I've got the MyPillow mattress topper. I've got a MyPillow mattress. I've got the MyPillow sheets. I've got the MyPillow towels. I've got everything. I live in a MyPillow home. And let me tell you, that patented fill, you will sleep like you've never slept before. What that patented fill does inside the MyPillow is stops your head from tossing and moving around all night. Every time you toss and turn, you wake yourself up even if you don't remember it. And that's why I'm well rested. No matter how many, I get about 4 hours sleep a night. And you hear me energized doing 2 shows, 3, 4 shows a day. Go to mypillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for huge savings. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are in break. Oh, man, I tell you. What a great night. I mean, I feel so energized and motivated, and knowing that we're in radio break right now, by the way. Why, you know what I wonder? Why do liberals in the live chat use all caps? Right? Why do they use all caps? No, they would not let Mike Lindell become the governor. Please, the Republic. Look at this. Did you see this thing with James O'Keefe this week, where he was dressed as a Muslim in Minnesota, vouching for some friends of his wearing Muslim garb to vote? They were not going to let Mike Lindell win that primary. It just wasn't in the cards. Oh yeah, the My Pillows are. I have everything. I have the My Pillow pet beds. We got it all. Yep, go to mypillow.com. It's promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And you can also order by phone, promo code Kane, Kane. And Mike Lindell's been supporting this program for many, many years. So support him with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. The reason that the liberals use all caps is because they're nuts. They're nuts. Yep. No, they wouldn't let him win. The Republicans in Minnesota are very, very liberal. They got to, come on. That's it. And a Republican's not going to win that statewide race. It's not a place where a Republican could win a statewide race in Minnesota. So, I mean, I would like to have seen him win the primary and be governor, but it was not in the cards. But, hey, no matter what your opinion is of Mike Lindell, don't you want to get a good night's sleep? Of course you do. Of course you do. All right. Okay, I got to get ready for the next hour. Okay. I can't find. Here it is. Okay. Okay, we'll be back shortly, guys. About 90 seconds, and we'll be back from our break. I got a recap for the radio listeners, how the elections turned out, and then I've got a big story on Abdul El Sayed in Michigan. He's done. They're all the Democrats. They've picked some losers. They've picked some. It's like you couldn't pick worse losers if you were trying than the Democrats have picked in this election cycle. I'm not kidding. If you're new, welcome to the program. Make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I am live every morning of the week, including weekends, most afternoons. And if I'm in the studio, I'm always taking live calls, and the number's pinned in the live chat. And if you could all do me the favor of liking the video, that helps, guys, a lot. If you could like the video, when you do that, it gets the program recommended, gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video. We've got 45 seconds. We'll be back. Yep, the toll-free. All opinions are welcome, whether you agree or disagree. All opinions are welcome at 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right? Hang in there. About 20 seconds. Fake Republican. Republicans call it the Save America Act. All caps, liberal, loser. All right, we're back. It's Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. And for those of you that are just tuning in, incredible victories here in Florida. Byron Donalds won the Republican primary. He will be our governor. Colonel Vindman was defeated by a crazy lady in the Democrat Senate primary. Debbie Wasserman Schultz did win because she was running in a black district against at least 4 black opponents. They divided the black vote, and she walked right in. So, but that's okay. Let Debbie be the voice of the Democrats, right? She's a repellent. But she is. But things are going well. We just had a great victory last night, and Byron Donalds is going to be the face of this midterm election along with the President of the United States. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Great day for Floridians after yesterday.
No doubt.
But listen, I'm thinking about this Ossoff, okay, from Georgia. There's a reason why they want him in there. Because first of all, he's eloquent. He's everything you want a politician to be. He lies.
Mm-hmm.
He's done nothing in the 6 years he's been there. You haven't heard a peep about his accomplishments.
Who's that?
But he's Jewish.
Who's that?
Ossoff out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Jewish, which is a big thing for the Democrats because
self-hating
they've
Jew.
got a reputation.
For those, by the way, those of you out there that have ever asked the question, how did the Holocaust happen? Well, sadly, many Jews ignored when the Nazis were rising. And you see how the Holocaust happened every day with Jewish Democrats who side with these lunatic Democrats that have all of these anti-Israel Muslims running in their party. That's how the Holocaust happened.
That's a big... That their reputation right now is they're Jew haters. So what better candidate can you push for the big time other than a Jewish guy?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a factual statement. That's not anti-Semitic.
Well, what Ossoff is doing is auditioning. And it's already failed. They were auditioning Graham Plattner. Then he failed with the rape allegation and the Nazi tattoo. Then they were auditioning to be their front man, Abdul El Sayed, the Muslim in Michigan. That failed. Ossoff, he's already walking that back. He got he got ripped so bad. Oh, because she's a woman, that means she's having sex with her boss. I mean, what a terrible.
Yeah.
So that was a short-lived audition.
Not just that, the fact that woman was saved by President Trump through his deal with last try.
Yes.
She was dying.
Mm-hmm.
So that she's a victim really, and he saved her life, and he didn't save her life because he wanted a Playboy model. Okay, that's for everyone out there. And I got to say this, and this goes for anyone that calls in. The deficit in this country is so bad right now, but you cannot blame us. And I've tried to AI this, and I couldn't AI this. The cost of over 10 million people coming into the country with no green cards, and we have to take care of them per day. What the heck has that cost this country since the Biden administration? And we transported them all over the place. I don't know about you, but when you go to California to see your daughter, if she's out there, do you pay for your ticket, or does the government fly you out there, Brian?
I know.
Who
Wouldn't
the
that be
hell pays
nice?
for that?
Exactly.
I mean, they have cost us so much money. Financially, they have destroyed this country. They've buried us. So when they talk about the high cost of living and the inflation and everything is so high, my God, they're the biggest contributors to this. And they think we have amnesia. While Biden was in there just a short time ago, inflation was 9% and going out of the roof, and he had no answers.
Yeah.
So we don't have amnesia here. How can you vote for a Democrat? And I could care less whether they're a blue dog or whether they're a communist. They have caused this country chaos because they don't care. And the left wing of that party, they want to eliminate the Constitution, and they tell you they want to do this.
Yeah.
It's just a shock. And one last thing. There was a big demonstration in Dearborn, Michigan by that crazy guy yesterday. I'm sure you saw it. But there were people there with Nazi flags and Nazi tattoos. We're not Nazis. Don't try to lump Republican MAGA people with Nazis. These people that were out in Dearborn, Michigan, they don't represent President Trump. And the Democrats try to link it. And I think it's an awful thing to try to link.
I'm surprised that I don't know how they got them out there with the Southern Poverty Law Center shut down, right?
Yeah, I mean, that Dearborn, Michigan was a big demonstration, and all the politicians started getting the people talking. Some of them were actually saying, these are Trump people. He's a hater. And Dearborn, Michigan is a melting pot. My God, it's not a melting pot. It's far from a melting pot.
Well, you know,
and
these Nazis, you know what I always tell you guys, at these fake Nazi protests, look at their flags.
Yeah.
They're always brand new. Real Nazis have old flags, not brand new ones. Some of them even have creases in them. And so far as the tattoos, I always say go up to them with a washcloth and some cleaning solution, and let's see if those tattoos stay on when you go to wipe them off.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Well, I believe that yesterday's demonstration was white supremacists.
Same thing.
And they don't. Yeah, they don't represent MAGA, man.
No.
So for the Democrats to try to link those people, and that demonstration was disgusting yesterday, and that city is in chaos. But if you want to know something, if it happens in the United States, the whole country will be chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop this right now.
All of these Nazi white supremacist clans are all fake. They are not. They're fake. They're put up by. They're put up by the Democrats.
Left-wing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, left-wing people. You don't think they bust all those people into? How the heck did they get to Dearborn?
Republicans don't use buses. We drive ourselves. The buses are a dead giveaway.
Not MAGA, man.
No, MAGA don't use buses. We drive ourselves.
But I got and Ashley Moody. And how about Debbie Wasserman Schultz? She lost, right?
No, she won.
Oh,
she won the
Debbie
primary.
Won? Oh,
Debbie. No. Well, I predicted that yesterday because the black vote was split 4 or 5 ways, and you know, in 2 years, I hope they come back. You know, and defeat her. The problem is black Democrats. All they did was sit around and talk about how they were being victimized by Debbie. They all should have dropped out except one, backed one of them, and they would have won. But they split the black vote, and she went on into victory.
Yeah, that McCormick was back after she got kicked out. She tried to get back in. That's ridiculous. I mean, you know, not
well,
for
it wasn't
nothing,
just her. There were
Democrats
3 or
have
4
done
others. It was like a 5 or 6 people running in that race. She was the only white person, and they split the black vote. It was stupid.
Hey,
it was really stupid
Democrats
what they did.
have not done. Yeah, Democrats have not done anything for black people in this country. I hope more of them open up their eyes. What if you just look at Maxine Waters living in a mansion and she's ruling a ghetto slum, and it's right below her. I mean, it's these people that are in power take advantage of the average person, and it's because they're not informed. They're uneducated.
You know,
and the ones that are educated.
I love watching the Debbie Wasserman Schultz videos, her surrounded by all those black people. She's never been around so many black people in her life. And you know that district, District 20, it's all the ghetto areas of the Fort Lauderdale area, the greater Fort Lauderdale area. Believe me, she's never been to, there's more check cashing stores per capita than any other place in Florida. She's never been in any of those areas ever, not even driving through them.
Brian, on a national level now, AOC has never actually walked the streets of the Bronx unless she's got 50 bodyguards around her.
Yeah.
She don't live near there, but she represents the Bronx, the lowest income area in New York City, in the country.
Yeah.
I think the average family is 26 grand.
All right, Richie, I gotta run some good points, but all right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, yesterday I finally, I had to find a new lawn guy, and that was not easy. I finally found one yesterday, and I was outside in my front yard. It was around, I don't know, sometime between 1 and 2, and I was just talking to the guy for a few minutes. I was covered in sweat. My shirt was soaking wet, and it was so hot yesterday. It was 98 degrees. The heat index was like 109, 111, something like that. I couldn't believe it. I know. And I came back inside, and when I felt that air conditioning in my living room, when I walked through the front door, it was like I was in heaven. It was amazing. If you have an air conditioning system that's not cooling your house properly, call Sloman Central Air Conditioning. If your air conditioning runs all day long, it shouldn't do that. You need a new unit. Call Sloman Central Air Conditioning. If you have a room or multiple rooms in your house that no matter how long you run the AC, they're hot, call Sloman Central Air Conditioning. And there's no excuse with this deal. Listen to this. With Sloman's, you can get a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99 with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 18 months. Gee whiz. Plus, it comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, including annual system maintenance, filter replacements, and refrigerant. There's no annual maintenance cost to you. And you'll also receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included in your AC package. Give them a call. 561-217-COOL. That's COOL. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. We'll be right back. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. 888-465-2631. So Vindman lost the Democrat primary for Senate. Look at this lunatic. This is the lunatic, Angie Nixon, that's the Democrat nominee. She's a Democrat socialist. Listen, she's nuts.
We are going to show again what happens when every day people come together around a shared vision for our collective future across party, across race, across all 6-7 counties. We are going.
Okay, so she's completely nuts. Listen to this. This is CNN.
Some of the agenda includes things that have been controversial, things you did not name, by the way, in what is most important
That's her
to
on the
you
right,
and the voters of
the
Florida,
Democrat socialist,
including defunding police or abolishing prisons. Because those are part of the platform that the DSA officially agenda has talked about, do you support those or want to be distanced from those in people's consideration?
So I want to be clear. There are things that are a part of the Democratic, clearly, platform since Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are not supportive of Medicare for all, which should be a right for folks to have access.
So she supports socialized health care.
Access to quality health care. I want to abolish for-profit prisons because.
Okay, she wants to abolish prisons.
Because I believe right now people aren't educating our children and they're ushering them into the school to prison pipeline because they want to exploit labor. They're enhancing penalties because they want cheap labor. And so those are some of the things that I am.
Wow, no prisons, socialized health care. This is the Democrat nominee for Senate in Florida, Democrat socialist. She's done. This is her. She's in state government right now. Look at this. She's nuts. She's in the. She's the running against. She won. She beat Vindman.
I will not allow you to destroy our democracy. That is a violation of the Constitution. It is. If the violation of the Constitution comes out of order, because y'all are doing illegal things to the state of Georgia.
She's completely insane. And look at this. She creamed Vindman 56-44. I mean, she's just nuts. She's nuts. Okay, we got less than a minute. We'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. All opinions are welcome, 888-465-2631. All right? And all opinions are always welcome. The calls are completely screenless and unvetted. All right? The number is toll-free no matter where you're listening and watching, and it's pinned in the live chat. We got about 20 seconds. I know, she's crazy. She's completely insane. Completely insane. I'm going to play a couple clips when we get back of her for the radio audience. All right, we're back. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. So Colonel Vindman in the Democrat primary for Senate in Florida it really dealt a humiliating defeat. He won to this lunatic Democrat socialist 56-44%. And she's a nut. I want to play a couple things. This is who Senator Moody's going to be running against here in Florida. Nixon, listen to this.
And so I look forward, Ashley Moody, to taking you on and to whooping you in November, and you will be calling me your senator.
Okay, so so she's going to win, right? Listen to her on CNN, same interview, what she supports.
Some of the agenda includes things that have been controversial, things you did not name, by the way, in what is most important to you and the voters of Florida, including defunding police or abolishing prisons. Because those are part of the platform that the DSA officially agenda has talked about, do you support those or want to be distanced from those in people's consideration?
So I want to be clear. There are things that are a part of the Democratic, clearly, platforms.
Remember, she's the Democrat socialist running against Ashley Moody now. She's the Democrat nominee.
Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are not supportive of Medicare for all, which should be a right for folks to have access to quality health care. I want to abolish for-profit prisons.
Okay, so she wants to have socialized health care and abolish prisons. See, this is why I didn't get involved in that primary. You know, Vindman, they spent $16 million for him to lose the primary. If he would have won the primary, they would have spent $100, $200, $500 million in Florida to get that guy who was born in the Soviet Union, deep stater that got Trump impeached, elected to the Senate. And now we've got this nutbag, Angie Nixon. Here she is with Jen Psaki on MS Now. This is the Democrat socialist running for Senate in Florida. She won last night.
You have incredible background we've just talked about in the block before this, where people are getting to know you.
Oh, yes. That's what I want. I want you to get to know her.
Running statewide in Florida is no easy task, as you know. So that's why I'm asking these questions. One of the, you are a member of the Democratic Socialists. There are a lot of candidates who have won in primaries who are members of the Democratic Socialists as well. You are also running, though, in a state, Florida has, as you well know, and a lot of people watching know, a large population of people who fled countries like Cuba and Venezuela.
See, Jen Psaki's worried about her.
Who may have a very unfavorable view of the term socialist, and they may not know you yet. So what is your message to them, and how are you going to appeal to them? Because you need to win them over, too.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to continue to work hard and go and knock on every door and have conversations with people, even if they may not agree with me ideologically. I want to be clear. I just recently joined the Democratic Socialists of America.
Oh, great.
And I'm also a union organizer. I'm a mother. I am a wife. I am a community organizer, a small business owner.
She thinks this stuff helps her. What business does she own? She's also an idiot.
And I'm going to have conversations with people about what it is that they care about. Too often, elected officials don't come talk to people. That is why people have been getting so upset and pissed off. I pride myself on having had one of the amazing constituency services programs here in our state. And I'm going to continue to do that when I become the next United States Senator.
So this Democrat socialist wants to tell the Florida Cubans and Venezuelans that escaped socialism why they want to go back to what they escaped from. Here she is. This is Angie Nixon, who just defeated Vindman. Don't you see why I wasn't talking about Vindman? I wanted this lunatic to be the one that goes up against Ashley Moody, not Vindman, that would have $1 billion behind him. Here's Angie Nixon, who's running for Senate as a Democrat here, the Democrat socialist in Fort Lauderdale recently.
We show the world what organized people can accomplish.
Oh, yeah, this is last night. I'm sorry, this is last night. Okay.
We show the world what organized people can accomplish. And we show the world what people of Florida are all about. Medicare for all. Universal child care. Real affordable housing.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Communism. And what she says, she's a mother. She likes to take her kids to drag shows. Listen to this interview.
I don't understand, there's no sexualization at a drag show. It's just people dressing up and singing and performing. I've taken my children.
That's like saying there's no sexualization at Hooters. Give me a break.
I don't understand, there's no sexualization at a drag show. It's just people dressing up and singing and performing. I've taken my children to drag shows, and it's fun. It's entertainment. It's wholesome entertainment. Yes. And it's nothing wrong. It's just, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, good. That's who Ashley Moody's running against. Oh, man, that's awesome. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, I was just thinking about this crazy woman was elected, won anyway, because everybody hates Vindman. I mean, even the people who don't like Trump can't stand Vindman. So, I mean, anybody could have won as long as they have Vindman running against them. So I don't think this woman is going to have a chance to win anything. But man, she's a wacko. She's far out as you can get. But that's the Democrat Party now, man. They're really messing up. Anyway, the other thing is some of the people I know didn't want to vote for Byron because of he's kind of like turned his back on reducing the real estate taxes.
That's not true. So, in fact, in his victory speech last night, that was what first thing he said was that he was working towards was to ending our property taxes.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the victory speech. That's great to hear that because a lot of people, I was saying if President Trump wants him, I'm sure he's going to want to do something for the taxes. Don't worry about it.
No. In fact, he said I'll play the clip again later. I played it earlier in the first hour, but Byron Donalds said he supports eliminating the homestead property tax, which is what the vote is on. And he said that if that doesn't pass, remember we need 60% because it's a constitutional amendment, right? So he said if that doesn't pass, he's got another way to end the property tax for seniors and working families. So we'll see what that's about.
Yeah, I also hear U.S. Congress is working on something to eliminate some of the taxes on real estate for people over 65. Well, we'll soon see. That's going to be great. You know, I was thinking that here Miami is now more expensive for real estate tax than New York. Okay, and I looked up. Somebody told me check this property out. There's a property in Pinecrest. It's a big house and all. It's $20 million house, but the guy was paying $35,000 taxes in 2022. Now he's paying $187,000. So I couldn't believe anybody would have to pay that kind of money to live in a house, but this is what they get. There's a house in
well, that's gonna now that we're past the primaries and we're in the real election season, that's going to be one of the big issues in this governor's race. And Byron Donalds is in favor of eliminating the property tax for homeowners. So that's on your homesteaded property. So if you own a second house, you still have to pay taxes on that. Which is, hey, listen, how many people own second and third houses? I mean, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And if you don't have a homestead exemption, they raise your taxes terribly. You know, if you have, they just raise it every damn year. I mean, they raise it anyway, but small. But
I know.
If you don't have a homestead,
it's ridiculous. And the only and what do they do? It's for public libraries that are basically just homeless shelters. I mean, go to the public library in downtown Fort Lauderdale. I mean, the smell alone of the homeless, it's insane. All right, Doug, I got to run, but all right. Now, I want to talk about life imaging. You know, August is National Wellness Month. You know, your heart scan is something you want to do every year. So go in the life imaging in this National Wellness Month of August and make it every August that you go in for your heart scan. You know, life imaging is all about prevention, and prevention is the best form of wellness. All of us are getting older, okay? And getting checked out and preventative health care is the way to get older and older and older year after year and extend your life. Has anyone in your family had heart issues or heart attacks? Well, sadly, that's something that gets passed down the family line often, as does cancer. So you want to get both the heart scan and the cancer screening, okay? And ask yourself this. Anyone you've known in your life who had a heart attack, those who passed or those who survived, have you ever heard someone say, we knew that heart attack was coming? No, it's always unexpected. You know why? It's because they didn't go to life imaging and get the scan. Make August the month you stop wondering and start knowing. And while you're there, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening as well as the virtual colonography, and say goodbye to sedation. Now remember, Life Imaging have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach, as well as Orlando. So there's no excuse. Call now for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say free hard scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free hard scan and you will be connected in seconds. We'll be right back. All right, we're in radio break now, so if you're on hold, stand by. Here's Kevin McCarthy making some good points about last night.
Byron Donalds, big time. Look, this is the Republican Party moving in the right direction. Think of what Byron has been able to do, and now is good. He's the first black elected Republican, our first black elected governor is a Republican. Exactly the party of Lincoln. Democrats have run people before. They couldn't win. This says a lot about this state, but it also says a lot about the ability of Byron.
What about DeSantis? He's leaving office soon. Where does he go? I mean, he's left quite a legacy.
He's done a great job. And to give credit, Florida's been happening for quite a while, right? You've got to go back to the two governors before. Remember when Bush got in, what he did about education and others. Then you come into now our senator who was governor and now DeSantis. This has been a very good track record for Republicans, how to keep building on these conservative philosophies and growing a state.
So where does DeSantis go next? That is a very good question, isn't it? Oh my goodness. It's a very important question. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free and pinned in the live chat, okay? It's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening, all right? And I will go back to the phones. If you're on hold, stand by. And if you could all do me the favor of liking the video, guys, that helps so much, okay? Please like the video. When you like the video, you get it recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. Okay, guys? So please like the video. All right, I'm just queuing a couple things up to get into when we get back. Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Barry, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. You know, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and they're in business, and they are surrounded by people that, you know, are high net worth people, and they were telling me how he had sent some of his friends over to you to have their trust work done. And you always talk about funding, and what we were talking about is people forget that when they own businesses or they have investment accounts and make changes, they got to include all of those things in the trust and update them when there's changes.
Well, yeah, those are all assets, and they need to be titled in the trust.
Yeah.
If they're not in the trust, then it's just another asset that's in your estate and will end up going through probate. So
yeah.
It's very important to keep up with those changes.
Yeah, exactly. If you get a new financial account, you got to include it.
Right, and the thing is that things don't stay the way they are forever. Things are going to change, whether things change in your personal life, such as relationships.
Absolutely.
Marriages begin, marriages end, children are born, grandchildren. Sometimes we lose people. And also your finances change, your bank accounts, your businesses. You may acquire a new business. You might acquire new real estate, even out of state. And if you don't put those things into the trust and stay on top of it, those things could end up stuck in your name at your death and end up going through the probate process, which is exactly what you want to avoid. Anything going through the probate process is going through the court system. Going through the court system means hiring attorneys. It means court costs. It means a judge getting involved. It means it's a public record. It means your family's going to have to go through the hassle of dealing with that for a year or two. It means that your beneficiaries aren't going to be getting those assets for a long time. And all that money that you spent on that, would you rather that go to lawyers into the system, or would you rather it go to your family? All of that is because you're not staying on top of it. And that's why one of the things we do at our law firm, the Siegel Law Group, is we have a free review every 3 years. And one of the benefits of that, one of the questions we ask is, have you acquired any new assets since we saw you last? And if the answer is yes, then the next question is, did you get that into your trust yet? And if the answer is no, then we give them a gentle nudge, where, and tell them, okay, this is what you need to do, and we need to get this done right away.
Let me ask you, Barry, I get a little legal advice here. What if I have an app that has a crypto wallet, and I've been building up a bunch of cryptocurrency, and have you been seeing people including their crypto wallets in their trust? Because that's got to start. Your crypto, would that go through probate? My crypto?
Yeah, I really don't have a strong answer for that. That's such a
new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A lot of people are dumping their money into that, and you don't want to have any fighting over who gets it, and you certainly don't want to have any probate for anything. The Siegel Law Group. I've met many listeners over the years that are clients of the Siegel Law Group. And I get several things similar from them. I tell you a lot, Barry, how they get that weight lifted off their shoulders, right? But people, there's a lot of word of mouth. People recommend their friends and families come in too because they have such a great experience, as my family has had. Give the Siegel Law Group a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. That's in the office with multiple locations here in South Florida. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782 and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. We'll talk later in the week, I guess Friday.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Brian.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Take care, Barry. All right. Now, those of you on hold, stand by. I want to go through a couple of things. One, Byron Donalds won. Okay, that's one. That's very important. And not only did he win, he won big. And Colonel Vindman lost the Democrat Senate race. That's big. Sadly, Debbie Wasserman Schultz won, but I kind of like the idea of Debbie being the face of the Democrat Party a little bit here in Florida, right? Yeah. All right, now here's Fox News.
Fox News alert, polls just closed in Florida, and there's a lot at stake. DeSantis is about to be termed out, and votes are pouring in for his replacement. Byron Donalds just clinched the Republican nomination. He has Trump's endorsement. Over on the House side, Republican Corey Mills is in the hot seat. He could lose his primary. But the fresh action, can communism play in Florida? The Sunshine State. Now,
No. Communism won't play in Florida. In fact, we're known to having a large number of exiles from communist Cuba. I got to tell you, this is one of the greatest days I have ever felt after a primary. Midterms are always important, no doubt. But primaries in a midterm are usually, you might have, But I feel energy with this one, don't you? Don't you guys feel energy with this one? And if you notice, not only did President Trump had 26 endorsed victories so far from last night. 26 endorsed victories last night. Of course, the media are going to focus in on one or two that maybe he didn't win, but he can't have who has a 100% endorsement record. President Trump's is through the roof, right? I have never felt this kind of energy during midterm. And it really shows you that the talking points of the left aren't really working, right? The affordability crisis, gas prices, Iran, all of these things, and still Republican turnout far surpassed the Democrat turnout. Here's Hannity last night with the defeat of Vindman, which was Vindman losing is a major victory.
Right here in the free state of Florida, where I live, far-left socialists are trying to gain a foothold in this state. Good luck. Unlike California, you don't have to wait 2 months for the results of today's primary. In fact, look at this. We have races that have already been called. Speaking of which, a big congratulations to Byron Donalds.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. Florida, we had over 80% of our votes counted and races being called within 90 minutes of the polls closing. And, you hear me mention this from time to time. People don't realize how big Florida is. Florida is massive. In fact, Florida is so big, we're in 2 different time zones. Most of the state is in the Eastern time zone, but parts of the Panhandle are in the Central time zone, right? So this is a big old state. From the Panhandle all the way south to 90 miles from Cuba. Big state. And we were able to get our votes counted election night, most of them within 90 minutes of the polls closing. And yeah, I know. It's absolutely astounding. And, the thing about all of that, Governor DeSantis signed Florida's version of the Save America Act into law not that long ago, and it's in effect. And part of that is voter ID, but proof of citizenship. Our Florida driver's license show whether or not you're a U.S. citizen or not. And not only do they show photo ID, I was telling Steve yesterday, they were making sure my signature matched. Think about that. And we were able to have a mass turnout. One of the reasons we did so well is because we swamped them at the polls in Florida. And over 500,000 more Republicans than Democrats voted in this midterm primary. And primaries have a low voter turnout historically. Okay, midterm primaries almost non-existent. Yet we energize them and swamp them at the polls, not just in Florida but nationwide. But in Florida is where I am, and we've got the hard numbers out really quick, right? And also, this is the first time that Republicans outnumber Democrats in the early vote numbers in the state of Florida. Never happened before. Total reversal from just a couple of short years ago. 4 years ago, the Democrats had a larger turnout in the midterm primaries and in the midterms than we had last night. And we've totally reversed it. And the people that vote in primaries generally are the activist people. And the activists, those that feel activated, obviously are MAGA Republicans. And that's why we have been doing so incredibly well. Now, we're coming up on our last break of the second hour. I want to go back to the phones. If you're on hold, stand by. Remember, all opinions are welcome. Are there any Democrats left out there? Oh, my goodness. Democrats are lying low today on the phones. Heard from a couple, but all other than 2, all the callers have been conservative. Yeah, see, they know they've been defeated. They know they've been defeated. And the 2 Democrats that called, one didn't want to talk about last night, wanted to talk about something else. And then Doc called in and said that Byron Donalds is not black. I mean, what's that about? So you can tell by the lack of Democrats that have called and the tone of those who have, they feel defeated. Liberals, Democrats, never Trumpers, they feel incredibly defeated this morning, and they should. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour. Call us on hold. Hang in there. The number to call in is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Okay, now those of you that are Medicare recipients, listen up. I want to talk about Chapter. Chapter is absolutely amazing, and they cover the entire country. So no matter what state you're in, you can give Chapter a call at the number on the screen and the number I'm going to give you in just a moment. When you call Chapter, they'll review your Medicare policy at no charge. Cost you nothing. You'll speak to a licensed Medicare advisor who will do it, And because they're a national company, they have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies out there. They'll make sure that you have the right policy for you and that you're getting all the benefits you are entitled to. There may be Medicare benefits you're entitled to that you didn't even know about, because Chapter have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies. They're going to make sure that you get all of those Medicare benefits that you have earned. It's completely free. They'll also make sure that if you have a supplement you're paying for, that you're not paying too much. All right? Give them a call, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. That's 805-754-3033 for Chapter. Oh, man, I'm so excited. Aren't you guys? How could you not be? How could you not be? I'm going to go over these results when we get... I'm just queuing some things up that I'm going to do. Oh, yes, I forgot about this story. I got to do one on Abdul. We're going to get into when we get back. Hang in there. Okay, we'll be back in about 90 seconds. And if you've not already done it, guys, please like the video. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So we're in radio break right now, so please take a moment to like the video. And if you're new, subscribe, all right? I am live taking calls every morning, 7 days a week, and most afternoons, okay? So make sure that you... Corey Mills lost, thankfully, so... He's a disaster. Cuba. You're calling from Cuba? Really? How can you call us from Cuba? How can you be in the chat from Cuba? 1 minute. We'll be back in 1 minute. I'm the jerk and you're using the F word and calling me names and I'm the jerk? Not very self-aware, are you? No, not a very self-aware person. All right. We'll be back shortly. This is an exciting day, guys. Hang in there. $15 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We're celebrating these great MAGA victories. But the Democrats have nothing but a bunch of losers out there, okay? They've been desperately searching for a winner. They thought they had one with Abdul. Something new just came out with Abdul. Abdul's the Muslim candidate that likes Blue's Clues, hates Jews, loves Blue's Clues, loves Whitney Houston, and he's the Democrat nominee for Senate in Michigan. Listen to this, New York Post. Abdul El Sayed's mom worked for global terrorist group accused of funding bin Laden, Hamas, and the Taliban? What? Holy smokes. Uh-oh. Every Democrat they put up and hype has a problem. Plattner, Abdul. Far-left Michigan Senate hopeful, this is in the New York Post, Abdul El Sayed's mother once worked for an organization that was designated a global terrorist group and accused of funneling funds to Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, and Hamas, according to a new report. This is the star of your party, Democrats? Uh-oh. His birth mother, why do they say birth mother? I guess he's got a stepmom? I don't know. His birth mother has a strange name. Fatin Fathi El-Komi worked for the Islamic American Relief Agency from 1999 until at least 2024. So this is 2004. So this is post 9/11, when the United States Department of Treasury linked the group to terrorism. the Midwesterner reported. So she worked for the organization during the time that the U.S. government designated them a terrorist organization. Oh, my goodness. This group that Abdul's mother worked for had dozens of offices across the globe and billed itself as a humanitarian organization focusing on healthcare, orphans, and disadvantaged people in areas of conflict. But the organization, also known as the Islamic African Relief Agency, provided direct financial support for the mastermind behind the 9/11 terror attacks, Osama bin Laden, according to the Treasury Department. Oh, that's nice. Information available to the United States shows that overseas branches provided hundreds of thousands of dollars to Osama bin Laden in 1999. This is Abdul's mother, worked for this group that was financing Osama bin Laden during the period they were funding him. The group also supported Hamas and other terrorist groups like the Taliban fighters. They were charged in March 2007 by the Department of Justice for illegally transferring funds to Iraq. Abdul's mother was never accused of any wrongdoing, and nobody cited in the federal cases were ever charged with terrorism-related crimes, the New York Post writes. But the organization pleaded guilty to conspiring to violate sanctions by illegally funneling $1.4 million to Iraq and agreed to dissolve in 2016. El Sayed's mother denied any... So I guess the Obama administration brushed everything under the rug. El Sayed's mother denied any connections, but she worked there when all this was going on. That's crazy. Abdul has consistently referenced his father and stepmother, but has made little mention of his birth mother, who moved back to the Middle East and then back to the United States, where she works as a nurse practitioner in Missouri. So, I mean, so this is, I got to tell you, it's a small world, but it ain't that small. So I just want you to think about this. This is the New York Post is reporting that Abdul El Sayed, the Democrat nominee for the United States Senate from the state of Michigan, is how many steps removed from bin Laden? Okay, so, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here, right? He's connected to his mother, because that's his mother. His mother worked for the organization that gave money to bin Laden. So that's 2 steps from Osama bin Laden. Is that the best you can do? Do you think that's just a coincidence? I don't think every Muslim is 2 steps removed in the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to bin Laden. Do you? How many Muslims do you think in America are 2 steps removed from bin Laden? Well, I would imagine most have no steps to bin Laden. So we have Abdul 2 steps from bin Laden. Abdul to his mother, and then his mother, she worked for that organization, and then boom. So that's 2 steps. His father's connected to the Muslim Brotherhood, which is also a terrorist organization. So on both sides, even though his parents divorced, one thing unites them: their connections to terrorist organizations and terrorists that are committed to killing all the Jews in the world. So both his father and his mother are 1 degree separated from terrorists, Islamic terrorism. So he is, with both of his parents, 2 steps removed from terrorism, including the worst terrorist of all, Osama bin Laden. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. What do you Democrats have to say for yourself? Is this enough for him to resign and drop out? What do you guys think? And I'm wondering if this story about, now the story I shared was from the New York Post. The Democrats have this new tactic. When their candidates win primaries, they did it with Biden, they did it with Graham Plattner, and then they're not great candidates and things start coming out, they get them to drop out and plug somebody new in after the primaries, right? Like they did with Graham Plattner. You know, they got that Troy guy. They did it with Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris, with Biden. Do you think the Democrats leaked this story to the New York Post because they want Abdul to step aside? Let me tell you, this is enough. This is enough for him to resign from the race. With both of his parents having these connections and his mother so closely connected to the bin Laden story, that's not someone you can have in the Congress of the United States. You know, members of the Congress, whichever house they're in, they influence U.S. policy, which has an impact on world policy, especially in the Senate. There's a lot of international things there. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. They also have access to classified information. No, Abdul is bad news. And not only is he bad news, he needs to step down. He needs to drop out of this race. I mean, you know, it's bad enough with Hassan Piker, who says we deserve 9/11. Now we find out that his mother has a direct connection to the man behind 9/11, bin Laden. I mean, how many things does Abdul have to have in his past that'll get Democrats to say, okay, this guy's got to resign? Is there any bar anymore? I know you stood up for a guy with a Nazi tattoo over his heart. Now you've got this. See, this is why they gave that line to Ossoff. They were trying to elevate Ossoff because they knew this story that I just shared about Abdul was coming out, and that was a preemptive. They're done with Abdul now. He's too tarnished. All right, call us on hold. Stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is, this is crazy. It's hard to believe these things are real, but it's true. It's New York Post reported that. The number to call in is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, yesterday I went out and bought a new suit and a new shirt. You know, I've lost all this weight, and I got a jacket, and I just got the jacket in the shirt. I didn't get the pants yet. I may get the pants. I just needed the jacket in the shirt, but I'm gonna go and get I think I'm gonna go get the pants. But it's the smallest jacket I have bought since I was a kid, and the shirt, I couldn't believe how small the neck was on the shirt. It was the first time I bought a dress shirt and a jacket since I lost all this weight, courtesy of Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the home of the metabolic reset, and it is absolutely amazing. You know, Coastal Weight Loss Secret has been helping thousands of patients like me and like you for years and years, and they've learned a lot, that losing weight isn't about finding some diet or a quick fix. It's about improving and resetting your metabolism. And Coastal Weight Loss Secret and Dr. Zuckerman over there have created the doctor-developed metabolic reset. Okay, and this program, it works. I am a living, breathing example of it. This is why I haven't gained any weight back, and I'm buying shirts and jackets that are sizes that I never thought I would ever fit in again. You know, the Coastal Weight Loss Secret Metabolic Reset is a program built around the habits and strategies that have consistently produced results with their patients. So if you're thinking you need another diet, maybe you just need a metabolic reset. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've lost the weight and I kept it off. I've been on one diet program my entire life, Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It's worked, and thanks to the metabolic reset, I've kept all of the weight off. You can do it. It works, and it's easy. No exercise, didn't starve myself, ate foods I would normally eat, and I want to stress, there's no shots, there's no pills. Schedule your no-charge consultation, and remember that Coastal Weight Loss Secret has virtual appointments, so no matter where you're located, you can do the appointment over a Zoom call or something. 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. And online, coastalweightlossSecret.com. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. What an exciting day of celebration. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get back to the calls after the break. If you'd like to call in, please do. It's a toll-free call on this day of celebration. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All opinions are welcome. You know, I know it's not a good day to be a Democrat, is it? Not a good day. But it's a great day to be MAGA. We'll take our break for the top, come back with more. And, of course, this is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more stories I haven't gotten to yet, and your calls after our top of the hour break. Okay, we are clear. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take some more calls after the break. Oh, my goodness. So what do you guys think about Abdul and his mother having this connection to bin Laden? I mean, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, we'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Okay, gotta cue that up. Okie dokie. Okay, hang in there, guys. 'Stand by. "40 seconds and we'll be back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Ugh. 15 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Renee from Harlem.
Oh, what a great day. We're going to have the first black governor of Florida. You must be very excited, Renee.
Well, I live in
Hold
New
on,
York.
hold on a second. Hold on. Okay. All right, yeah, you live in New York, yeah.
I just wanted to remind you that since you're associating Al Said's mother with terrorists, I should remind you that Trump's father was arrested at a Klan rally, and it was printed in the New York City.
Not true.
I know you don't
Not
believe
true.
it.
It's not true.
No.
It's not true.
Yeah, of course not. Of
No,
course
it's not true.
Only sued for housing discrimination and lost a case.
No, that's not true
you don't
either.
believe
That's
that?
not true either. They didn't lose a case.
You believe that? No.
You got a lot of untruths. You okay? I don't know all the number. I know my number district, but I don't know every number by heart and who the candidate is.
In Boca, like Scott Singer and Anthony Francis.
I haven't gone through all the House races and such yet, okay? But I will as time goes on. But here's the thing: it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're past the primary, so there's only two choices moving forward: Republican or Democrat. So you don't need to know the details of all these guys. You just vote Republican straight down the ticket. There's no situation when you don't vote for a Democrat.
No, well, I did vote, of course, for a Republican, but I just don't want Scott Singer to get in there.
Well, now whoever wins, and whoever wins the primaries, and it'll just be Republicans versus Democrats. The primaries are over. You can vote straight Republican. It doesn't matter who it is. The worst Republican who's done the worst things you can imagine is better than the best Democrat.
Yeah, I agree on that. It's just that we were worried in Boca about Scott Singer. We didn't want him.
I don't know. I didn't check into that race. I can't check into every single race.
Okay, this was for Congress.
I'll check into it. We'll see. Why didn't you want him? No, it says he won. No, he won. So now you got to vote for him. Yeah.
Scott Singer?
Florida's 15th district. Yes, he won the primary. Why didn't you want him?
Oh, crap.
Why didn't you want him?
Oh. No, because he was the one that was with the builders and selling out Boca. He was our mayor.
Wait a second here. It says here, let me look. This is the guy that was hold on. This is the guy that used to be the mayor of Boca, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me go to chat. This is I'm going to the local news, CBS 12, okay? Maskowitz and Singer win primary vote. Will face off in November. Yeah, Singer won. So now you got to vote for him.
Damn. All right.
But no. Hold on a second here. This is not a time to be trashing Republicans.
But he's the guy who sold out Boca. Remember this thing?
Sold out Boca? Boca's still there. What did he sell out?
He was selling us out to the builders, and we had a big turnout.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about that park?
No, Scott Singer.
No, are you talking about that? I know. Are you talking about that Veterans Park in Boca?
Yes, that whole thing.
So what?
Builders.
So what?
Building.
Well, so what?
Oh, please. We had a big thing against him. I don't know how he could have won.
Well, first of all, hold on a second here. I know what you're talking about, and I know we got a lot of people in Boca listening. That Veterans Park was not really a Veterans Park. It was just a park that they named Veterans Park, okay?
It was not only that, Brian, it was all city land.
So
he
what?
wanted to give city land to the builders.
To the builders. So you don't want any more development in Boca Raton. You want it. They did a bunch of development on Palmetto Park Road, east of Federal Highway. It looks beautiful.
No, you can't understand. We had a big...
I know all about it. To save Boca people, I know about it.
I can't believe he won after that whole thing.
So let me get this straight. Okay, just let me get this straight. I hope are you still wearing that mask everywhere?
I wear it in Walmart. I wear it in public.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Do you wear it at the bank?
And gloves.
Gloves.
And gloves and glasses.
Gloves and it was 100 degrees yesterday. You're out there wearing a mask and gloves. Okay.
No,
so hold on a second here. Hold on a second.
In the store.
It's still hot in the store. The primary is over. So now it's Singer versus Moskowitz. Who's the Democrat? You're not gonna vote for the Republican because of that ridiculous park?
Well, what about Moskowitz?
He's a Democrat.
Oh, Moskowitz! I thought Moskowitz was a Republican.
No, he's a Democrat.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm forced to. What can
You're
I
gonna
say?
So you're gonna vote for the Republican even though you hate him.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call. Okay. Byron Donalds said last night, it's time to be a united party. This is the thing. The time for criticizing Republicans is over. It's over. Okay? It's completely over. No matter who the Republican is, I don't care what their background is. I don't care what scandal they talk about. I don't care what their voting record is. You vote for them over the Democrat. Because no matter how bad you may think they are or your personal dislike, okay, they're better than the Democrat. And they count towards our majority, okay? Now, I'm not saying that this guy's bad. I don't know what's wrong with building up Boca. A lot of Boca's looking pretty old. Have you driven down Dixie Highway in Boca? Holy smokes, how are those places still there? They need more development in Boca, okay? Believe me, I know. Believe me. And the development they've already done is beautiful. And this park that they made such a big deal about. Give me a break. Give me a break. But, this is the deal, okay? We are now in the election period. No more infighting. Let the Democrats fight amongst themselves. Let the Democrats fight amongst themselves. They're tearing their party apart with this Democrat civil war, and we don't want to do that. But a lot of people, like the lunatic mask lady, they can't. She's wearing the mask a little too much. But look at this. I just want you to get. This is amazing. Okay. Byron Donalds. Look at this. Byron Donalds won with 40. There were 11 people running in the Republican primary for governor. 11. All right. Byron Donalds won with 47.8% of the vote. The second place was the Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins. So Byron had 810,675,000 votes. The number two person only had 426,787. Byron Donalds had 47.8% of the vote. The number two only just a hair over 25% of the vote. So we've got a MAGA mandate. The Democrats, they've got this guy that won last night, David Jolly. This guy's a mess, and I love it. He used to be a Republican. He was a Republican. In Congress, he was in the House of Representatives, David Jolly. And now he's a Democrat, which really shows you that when I tell you that rhinos are really Democrats, you see this all the time. Charlie Crist, David Jolly. This guy, he is a train wreck, David Jolly. So we have a train wreck of a candidate for the Democrats in the governor's race, and a train wreck for the Democrats with their Democrat socialist idiot, Nixon, that's running for the Senate. And we've got a superstar. In fact, next to President Trump, Byron Donalds, who won the primary last night, has just been elevated. He's probably the number two superstar of the entire Republican Party now. Number one's the president. Byron's number two. And the excitement around Byron Donalds is going to give us those down ballot victories, not just here in Florida, but around the country. No more infighting, no more criticism of Republicans. Anyone who criticizes Republicans moving forward is a rhino, never Trumper, Democrat, fake Republican. That's it. All right. Those of you who want to hold standby, we're going to take our first break of the third hour. And I got to talk about Tom Laporta over at Laporta Roofing. Call us on hold. Hang in there. Tom Laporta, we found Tom Laporta years ago out of necessity, because you hear me say all the time, if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak in your roof, right? And if you don't take care of that leak gets bigger, the spot gets bigger, and then you got another spot here, another spot there. Next thing you know, you need a whole new roof. And we found Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing because Steve, he had a wet spot on his ceiling. He ignored it, and then all of a sudden he had wet spots all over his ceiling. And I remember going to Steve's house. Steve and I went to a Christmas party, and I went and picked him up at his house. We rode together. We wanted to arrive at the party in style together. And the whole house was filled with buckets all over the place. I'm not kidding. Collecting the water leaking from the roof. And and then I started making fun of him about it on the air the next day. And then we found Tom Laporta, and Tom Laporta went over there and found out not only, sadly, did Steve need a new roof, but because he ignored that, 40% of his drywall had soaked up the moisture from the leak in the roof and was growing deadly black mold. So Steve had to get a new roof. 40% of the drywall had to be replaced, and there was a lot of other damage. If he would have called Tom Laporta when he saw that first wet spot on the ceiling, he very likely would have just needed a simple repair. Call Tom Laporta. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. All right, hang in there, guys. Okay. Stand by, guys. We'll be back shortly. And just over a minute. If you're on hold, hang in there, okay? Okay, just going over a couple things for the next segment. Stand by, less than a minute. All right, hang in there, guys. She's so ridiculous. Okay, 25 seconds. Ten seconds, we'll be back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We are celebrating not just Byron Donalds' victory, but just the massive Republican turnout. The president, so far by my count, he had 26 endorsed victories last night. 26. All right? That's a lot. Things are looking good. Now, a lot is going to be made of this Democrat socialist that won the Senate race in the Democrat primary. In fact, Fox News, it's their lead story. Far left socialist wins massive Florida upset. She's nuts. She's completely insane. She's the one we wanted to win. Remember, she defeated Vindman. All right? So this is not a Democrat socialist victory in the Democrat primary. The Democrats lost with her. She's crazy. Ashley Moody is absolutely amazing. This is Ashley Moody. She's the senator who was appointed by DeSantis to finish Marco Rubio's term. And, of course, she won the primary. This is Ashley Moody.
And on one side, you will have a candidate that stood up for the state in the face of government crackdown, big government, called out Washington, held them to account, has pressed for accountability when they overreached their power and lied to the American people, always stood for independent and American rights. And you're going to have one side that I'm going to be up against that wants to, and the platform says, defund the police, don't fund our military, open up the border, non-citizen voting. I could go on and on.
Non-citizen voting. So that's the Democrat nominee for Senate. Non-citizen voting.
The law enforcement men and women that are here with us tonight love the position they have on abolishing prisons and releasing criminals into our communities. We're not making this stuff up. In the state of Florida, who stood strong in the face of big government, you have now a Democratic Party that has put up as their nominee a self-proclaimed socialist who runs a bookstore called the Resistance Cafe.
Oh my goodness. This is Nixon, who won for the Democrats in the Senate primary.
I am not making this up. This is not some made-up fiction TV story. This is the election that will
Wait a minute.
take...
Let me go back. What's the name of Nixon's bookstore? Hold on.
We're not making this stuff up.
I got to go back further.
That I'm going to be up against that wants to, and the platform says, defund the police, don't fund our military, open up the border, non-citizen voting. I could go on and on. I'm sure the law enforcement men and women that are here with us tonight love the position they have on abolishing prisons and releasing criminals into our communities. We're not making this stuff up. In the state of Florida, who stood strong in the face of big government, you have now a Democratic Party that has put up as their nominee a self-proclaimed socialist.
That's right.
Who runs a bookstore called the Resistance Cafe.
Oh my goodness, the Resistance Cafe bookstore? That's the Democrat nominee for Senate? Oh boy. I can't wait. I can't wait. Where is that bookstore? I might go visit it. See what they have there. And you notice Ashley Moody, our Republican victor, she's our senator right now. She's going right after this lunatic. You can see how Nixon is who we wanted to win, not Vindman, right? That's right. Not only, and it's great that it's a woman going against a woman, because a man going after that hard, they could use some sexism thing, but her Resistance bookstore, this is awesome.
I am not making this up. This is not some made-up fiction TV story. This is the election that will take place in this free state of Florida this November. That is who the Democrats are running, because that is who they are as a party. And so tonight, I am grateful for every person that put their name on the Republican ballot and put yourself forward to serve your fellow Floridians. Thank you for that. But I am also speaking to everyone watching tonight across the state of Florida. And I don't care if you are a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat. This election is so much more than voting for a person for the United States Senate. This is about voting for the future of this country. Will this country remain true to the ideals that our founding fathers promised 250 years ago? Or will this country move forward? Higher taxes, big government, government seizure of private production, government controlling everything about your life, government undermining and abolishing every institution that protects your safety and your rights. There could not be a more extreme difference in candidates than what will be on the ballot this November in the state of Florida.
Okay, now this is, that's Ashley Moody, who won our primary last night. She's running for Senate. She's the current senator, finishing out Marco's term, and she's running. This is, do you understand the difference here, right? So Vindman, lost. And you guys, this is exactly why I was not talking about Vindman these last couple of months. I could have spent every day talking about that guy. And I'm not saying that I'm responsible for his defeat. I'm not crazy, but it would me talking about him would have helped him. A lot of people didn't even know he was running. Okay? The Democrats spent $16 million and he lost. Nixon didn't have that much money. The Democrat Socialist won. Look at how, if you're on hold, stand by. This is important stuff right here. Look at how Ashley Moody just defined her opponent, this Democrat Socialist. She wants to abolish prison. She has this resistance bookstore. Any crazy commie idea there is, she supports it. If Vindman would have won, it would have been a much different speech last night and a completely different campaign. It would have been all about rehashing Trump and January 6th. That's all it would have been about. And Vindman would have been the poster boy for that. Not only that, the Democrats spent $16 million on Vindman's primary campaign. They didn't spend anything on hers because she's a socialist. She spent less than $1 million that she raised. The Democrats would have poured hundreds of millions of dollars. They would have spent $1 billion if they had to get Vindman elected. He's one of their poster boys. And the whole thing would have been about Trump in a negative way. And what that would have done is, you see this? Ashley Moody's on the attack against the Democrat Nixon for her crazy wackadoodle ideas. If Vindman would have won, she would have Ashley Moody would have been on the defense. I'm not saying that the president needs a defense, but she would have been on the defense, not on the attack. Because Vindman would have been on the attack immediately about January 6th, impeachment, Ukraine, the phone call, and all that garbage. When you are, you're winning when you're setting the narrative, and you're losing when you're responding to the narrative that the other side puts out there. And one of the reasons MAGA has won is because ever since he came down the escalator, President Trump sets the narrative and the other side respond to it. And that's what Ashley Moody is doing here. She's on the attack. Total different campaign than we would have had if Vindman would have won. It could not have gone better. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. I've talked to Joe Thomas about this when he's been in studio with me a couple of times. When it comes to financial advisors, I've known a lot of financial advisors in my time, and some of them are what I refer to product pushers. And a lot of financial advisors are always trying to get you to make transactions, not because it's in your best interest, but because the company they work for wants them, are pushing things, and they get a commission when you make the transactions, right? And so they're giving you advice, not, a lot of these I've seen this many times. I call them the product pushers. You may have heard me use that term before. They want you to make financial decisions about your financial future and the financial future of your family based on what's best for their finances to get that commission. With Joe Thomas and annuities, the commissions are paid by the insurance company, not you. That's right. That's a big savings. It comes out of the company's pocket, not yours. And I have met and spoken with many listeners that are clients of Joe Thomas. Annuities are not only a great supplement to your retirement, and they certainly are, because you're guaranteed that monthly check each and every month deposited into your bank account the same day each month. A lot of people get into annuities to retire early. People retire in their 50s. People retire when they're first eligible for Social Security because they got that income they need from the annuity. Give Joe Thomas a call. No matter where you're located, the consultation's free. And after that free consultation, Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation and your goals. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. Okay? 561-743-0999. $2,299. You can also find his phone number on his website, jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Do you guys see the difference between Vindman and this nutbag? Okay, gotta play that. Okay, stand by, guys. Okay. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Sorry, I missed the cue, Mike. We're back. It's the Steve Cage Show. CNN, with this Natalie Harp story, have gotten so crazy. Did you see what they did yesterday? They brought, I don't even know if this is real. They brought on, they said it was Natalie Harp's brother. And this guy, do any of you, if any of you guys that are around my age, do you remember on MTV, Jesse on MTV? Do you remember Jesse on MTV? This was MTV did this contest where it was kind of like a reality game show contest, and the winner got to be a host on MTV. And this guy, Jesse, won, who was obviously an actor, but he was like you could tell he was an actor, but he was like a heroin addict. Do you guys remember that? Jesse on MTV? And I couldn't believe. Well, they bring on this guy on CNN that they say is Natalie Harp's brother, and he totally reminds me, this may be Jesse from MTV, just older now. This guy, I've never seen them do anything like this before, and he seems high to me. I would not be surprised if this is not Natalie Harp's brother. Okay, this is an actor, or Jesse from MTV, but and Jesse not only was an actor, he wasn't even really a heroin addict. He was just an actor pretending to be one. That's how Family Values from MTV back in the day. Listen to Natalie Harp's supposed brother on CNN last night.
We've learned right about his incredible reliance on her at all hours of the day to post social media posts, just as one example.
Yeah. I think that Trump's best friends are people who are his fan club, you know? Like, and so she's his biggest fan. And so that's probably why he likes her. And like, she's good looking.
See, I don't know if the way he's talking about his sister, he says his sister, she's good looking. And she's as big. He's not saying my sister, and I've got sisters. I don't comment on how my sisters look. You know why? It's gross. But not to Jesse Harp here.
Trump's best friends are people who are his fan club, you know? Like, and so she's his biggest fan. And so that's probably why he likes her. And like, she's good looking.
Who, you guys out there, how many of you refer to your sisters as good looking?
She's got a good personality. Like, I don't know.
I want to ask you, Preston, about something that just...
She thinks that he saved her life. So, like, somebody living with that kind of gratitude, that must feel pretty good.
I want to ask you about something.
I mean, come on. The only thing that was missing from this was Bada Booey at the end, right? You know, I remember the day that JFK Jr.'s plane went down, and I was watching, I can't remember which news it was. I remember my wife and I were out of town, and we were at a hotel room at Disney World. It was called Dixie Landings. I remember this yet like it was yesterday, and because of the JFK Jr. death. And it was either ABC or CNN. It was either ABC or CNN. And they were interviewing this lieutenant commander from the local Coast Guard. And this guy was on forever talking about the Coast Guard efforts and everything to locate JFK Jr. and the wife and all this stuff. And then at the end, bada booey, bada booey, bada booey. It was hilarious. I'm sure it's online if you want. Although, I don't know, 97, it may not be online. But, you know, that's this guy. I would like to know what kind of background check they did on this guy. Is he actually her brother? I don't know. I've never seen them bring on anybody's sibling like that in something. But CNN, they have a lot riding on this Natalie Harp case. Okay, let me go through this. This is, you know, CNN. There's a lot of desperation going on right now at CNN, and a lot of the reason that there's a lot of desperation going on at CNN is because they know that we're going to win in the midterms, and they're looking for any little thing they can do to slander the president. So they bring on this Jesse character who says he's her brother. And then let me go through this article. Let me pull this up. Listen to this. Is CNN. Meet Natalie Harp. The age so close to Trump, she once rode in an SUV trunk to accompany him. An SUV trunk? SUVs don't have trunks. Now, there's third and fourth row seating in some SUVs, and that third, and if they have a fourth row, can be in an area where you can remove the seats or put the seats down and store some things, but they don't have trunks. You know what this is like? They don't know these SUVs very well at CNN. This is like that story when Trump jumped through to the front of the SUV of the Secret Service and took the wheel. You're taking me to the Capitol to meet my posse. It's January 6th. Remember that? Same kind of thing. This is CNN. This reads like a romance novel, not a news story. Natalie Harp wouldn't take no for an answer. It was October 2023. And Donald Trump was due at a New York City courthouse to fight his latest set of legal troubles. But as the motorcade idled outside his Trump Tower residence, staffers confronted a more immediate problem. There wasn't room for Harp, the hyper-loyal aide whose devotion to Trump had quickly entrenched her within his orbit. The only thing that's missing from this is that it was raining outside. A screaming match in the lobby ensued. This is CNN I'm reading from, with Harp insisting that Trump had personally asked her to attend the court appearance. Two sources familiar with the matter told CNN. Denied a seat, but determined not to be left behind, Harp jumped into an SUV trunk, according to two sources who confirmed by a photo obtained by CNN. Now, what is an SUV trunk? And by the way, CNN, if you've obtained the picture, why aren't you showing us this picture of her in this trunk that she jumped into? So CNN has her running and chasing after a moving vehicle and jumping into the trunk. Let me see. I lost my spot here. It says here they got a they saw the photo. Back to CNN. All right. Let me get my audio voice, my audiobook voice. The episode, which has not been previously reported, served as an encapsulation of the role Harp has carved out in recent years as a constant and intensely dedicated president at Trump's side. Her methods have irked senior aides and at times prompted efforts to box her out of the president's inner circle, according to multiple sources who describe the dynamic to CNN. But they won't show us the photo. A former right-wing television host, she was with OAN, One American News, who began working for Trump after crediting him with saving her life. Harp has become a main conduit between the president and the outside world, passing along messages from allies and setting up meetings, tapping out Truth Social posts and toting printouts of articles, all while staying in close proximity at all hours of the day. Trump likes the attention and the fact that she is 100% committed and loyal, one White House advisor told CNN. How many people at the White House that have this proximity to the president are leaking out personal information to CNN, the Clinton News Network? Harp's relationship with Trump came under fresh scrutiny this week after Democrat Senator John Ossoff mentioned her by name, oh my goodness, in a now viral speech attacking Trump. The Georgia senator swiped at the president's travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar, a reference to her joining the president. You know what I'm hearing here? Do any of you remember that song, Return to Me? Remember that song, Return to Me, from this? Was that the 70s or 80s, Return to Me? Anybody remember? I wish I had that. I wish I just had the instrumental to Return to Me to play in the background of this CNN article. I lost my place now. I'm so captivated by this romance. The comment spurred outrage from the White House, which repeatedly labeled Ossoff a cringe-worthy feminine theater kid and lightweight loser. Yeah, that's true. Let's see her. Harp's rapid rise within Trump's world has stood out in large part because of the intensity of her dedication to the president since joining his staff in 2022. Oh, wait, I got to take a break. I'm so wrapped up in this novel. Oh, my goodness. Does anyone remember Return to Me? Yes, I remember Return to Me. That's what I think they took this. I think they rewrote the lyrics for this. I want to talk about Dr. Appleton. Oh man, Dr. Appleton's amazing. Dr. Appleton, you guys know he's rid me of pain 7 times, but I've met so many people in this audience that are now living pain-free lives because of Dr. Appleton. And anytime I go to see Dr. Appleton, I run into listeners in the lobby, sometimes in the parking lot, and they tell me their stories. There was one guy I remember so well. This was really amazing. He had just left Dr. Appleton's office. He had his knees treated, and he's spent his life as laying carpet. And he's a little younger than me, around my age. And, you spend your life laying carpet, you got some bad knees as you get older, don't you? And he thought he was done. He thought his career was over, his business was over, and what's he going to do at his age? All he knows how to do is this great job of laying carpet that he thought he wasn't going to be able to do anymore until he went to see Dr. Philip Appleton, who relieved him of his knee pain. It works. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays, right? That's right. And the consultation's free. Give Dr. Appleton a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. Oh man, I'm very far behind on everything. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with this morning's Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Metals looking very good. Yesterday we had a buying opportunity with gold dropping $82.50, but this morning it's right back up $82. So we'll see where we're going here. Yesterday we saw a close of $4,333.40, down $82.50. Silver was down $2.45 at 63.21. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Platinum was down $60 at $1,710, and palladium was down $40 at $1,268. Yeah. Hourly. Hold on a minute.
No problem. We're getting the numbers. We're live. There's changes going on, obviously.
Hold on 1 second. The gold right now, $4,413.70.
Wow.
Up $80.30.
Wow.
Silver up $1.58 at $64.79. Platinum up $37 at $1,747, and palladium up $22 at $1,290. The U.S. dollar is lower. Interest rates are going higher, and that's a scenario we don't normally see, but we have seen the 30-year bond now at the highest level in almost 19 years. So this is telling you that if you want to have debt, you're going to have to pay the price to cover that debt, and the interest rates are going higher, and that means that we're seeing allowing of the value of the U.S. dollar as it continues to go lower.
Yeah. That's right. And that U.S. dollar, it like catches on. It's like just paper, gold, silver. It's like metal. You can feel. So today's a good buy day, and William Youngerman, of course, opens up at 10 a.m., and stop in if you can. Remember, at William Youngerman's, all the metals are available for immediate delivery at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. on the first floor of the Bank of America building. And you can also call and do your transactions over the phone no matter where you're located in the world. Toll free 800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And find both his phone number and address online at WilliamYungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, take care, take care. You know, I got so wrapped up in this romance novel CNN's writing, I've lost complete track of time. I want to tell you guys, I really have. I was getting all wrapped up with Jesse and Return to Me on the mind. It is the month of August, which is National Wellness Month. This is the month you want to go to Life Imaging. They have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, Dade County, and Orlando, and get your heart scan. And then mark it on your calendar. Every August, go back in for that heart scan. You know, if you have a family history of heart problems or cancers, sadly, these are things that get passed down the family line from grandparents and parents all the time. Go see them over at Life Imaging. There's no excuse to do it. They have locations within our full listening area. When you're over there, make sure to ask about their full body cancer screening, as well as their virtual colonography, and say goodbye to sedation. Call now for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You will be connected in seconds. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ, what's up?
Great news in Florida.
Absolutely.
Love to see Donalds, the win there. And, you've got the Nixon and the Vindman. I mean, that was a communist against a treasonous traitor born in the USSR. No more goodbye, thank you. Nixon's crazy. That should be it should be an easy race for Moody if she just does not let up. And from the video you played, she's starting off on the right foot.
See, and now you guys know why I wasn't talking about Vindman. I was trying to help in my little way. I think most people found out he was running when they saw him on the ballot.
Yeah, the name recognition, they probably, a lot of people just didn't know who the hell he was when they saw it. Now that now they're finding out, but it's too late. I just think, a lot of people didn't know. I'm just really happy that he's out. It would have been a much different race if he had won. But,
you see what I mean is Ashley Moody is on the attack. She would have been on the defense with Vindman, on top of all the money they would have spent. Big different,
Correct.
Totally different campaign.
And I think Vindman. I think Vindman runs almost like a Bernie Sanders in a way. I think it was kind of for him, in some small way or maybe a large way. I think it was a payoff from the old criminal Democrat.
Well,
Party
I'd like to know where they spent $16 million. I'd like to know where they spent it, because when you and I are in Florida, and nobody knew he was running.
Yeah.
So
well,
they
I'm
didn't.
Up in Mass, but regardless, I understand what you're saying.
Well, if they spent the $16 million properly, everybody would have known that he was running.
Yeah, I don't think they cared. I really think it was just he ran. I think it's a payoff. I think the criminals. I think they threw him in there so he could make money. But the big thing for me is the turnout, because it is a massive. The turnout in Florida, it's a predictor. I mean, the momentum, the engagement. It's evidence of future of the voting. It could be a tsunami voting wave in Florida. Just I love to see that. It's almost like people. We've been talking about Americans waking up, because the onslaught of misinformation from the education, or I should say non-education system, where they teach the kids that they're not worthy, the U.S. isn't worthy. They put that negative.
Well, JJ, I'm really running short on time, so I'll give you the last word.
Got you, buddy.
All right, okay, that was the last word. Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Cisco.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Return to me.
Okay, see what he's. You're not going to sing "Return to Me." Oh my goodness. I wanted to play before the show ends. I wanted to share this because this was CNN last night talking about Vindman.
Colonel Alex Vindman did outraise and outspend Angie Nixon, and also Senator Ashley Moody.
Okay, Vindman, now listen to this. So we're getting some, this is CNN. Vindman raised $16.2 million and only spent $9 million. So where's the other 7.2? Where did that money go?
And he lost. What does that tell you?
He was a terrible candidate. It's difficult for me to put that in words. In some of our conference calls at Axios, I would just start to rant about it. Like I was almost offended by his just inability to campaign properly.
How did he do it? Yeah.
Well, it's more like how did he not do it? I don't really know where that money was spent because you didn't really see.
Now this is CNN. This is not Fox.
Know where that money was spent because you didn't really see him on television.
See?
You didn't really see him in the community. You didn't see him in mailers. You didn't see him in text messages. There was no presence. About 7 days ago, in preparation for today, I started to think, okay, what's the polling show? And I couldn't find any polling, which is a very rare thing in a statewide election in Florida, something of this import, a Senate seat. And I called a number of pollsters, and everyone's like, no, we're just not paying attention to it. And I realized, well, let's see. I'm not seeing Vindman really campaign. He has no real roots here. He's essentially sort of carpet-bagged here. I didn't even know the guy lived in the state. I thought, like his brothers in Congress, he lived in Virginia. And
see that? So CNN was saying what JJ was just saying, right? Where'd the money go? How did no one know he was running? All these things. Yesterday I went out and bought a new jacket and shirt. I'm going to be on national TV later today. Again, I'm very excited. And I have not bought any new fancy clothes since I lost all this weight. And my wife said, Brian, you got to go out and buy some clothes that fit you. You've lost all this weight. And I went out and I bought a new jacket, a new shirt, a new tie. And it's a much smaller size than I've ever worn before. And when I went in and got the shirt and they were measuring my neck for the shirt, I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's so great. And it's all because of Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the home of the metabolic reset. Coastal Weight Loss Secret is absolutely amazing. They've helped thousands of patients like you and me for years. And they've learned a lot. That lasting weight loss isn't about finding another diet or some quick fix. It's about improving your metabolism. So Dr. Zuckerman over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret created their doctor-developed metabolic reset. This isn't some magic weight loss trick, and they stand behind this program because they've spent years refining the process, working with thousands of patients. And Coastal Weight Loss Secret Metabolic Reset is based around the science of metabolic health, not trends, not shortcuts. And they've built the program around habits and strategies that have consistently produced results with their patients. Maybe you don't need another diet. Maybe you need a metabolic reset, and they'll do that for you at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. They've done it for me. I've not gained back any of the weight. I've kept it off. I reached my goal weight and then much more. I set my goal weight low because I'd never been on any weight loss program, and I lost that weight in 3 weeks, and I lost a lot more than I set out to lose, and I've kept it all off. And I've been wondering, why was I able to do this so easily? It's because Coastal Weight Loss Secret reset my metabolism, and you can too. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. They also offer virtual appointments, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located in the world, over a video call, okay? 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. All right, that's about all the time we have for today, guys. So I don't have time for any more calls, and I do have to I have to get all pretty for TV today, so I shaved. If you guys ever watch me on YouTube and you see me that I've shaved, completely shaving probably means I'm going to be on TV. So I shaved this morning. But we'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to have a lot more to talk about with the other election races around the country. And this has been a great day. It's been a great MAGA victory, a great Trump victory, a great Republican victory. We have the momentum on our side. And I must say, Ashley Moody is amazing. I was a little worried about her because I didn't know too much about her other than who she was when she got appointed by the governor to finish out Marco's term, and watching her acceptance speech going after this Democrat socialist that beat Vindman, DeSantis did right by picking her, and she won the primary, and she's going to win the election. She's doing great, and Trump loves her too. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you first thing tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right, guys. Hey, listen, if you've not already done it, please like the video, okay? When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video. And those of you that are new, welcome. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe, all right? And click that notification bell. I will see you in the afternoon. Take care.